What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That in the lovely green right there is your girl Adara, and I'm Sharif, and we're gonna wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream. We already have the Chile Nightmare or Ram saying, thank God it is Friday. Absolutely. It's gonna be a beautiful weekend here in Toronto. I personally cannot wait for it to start. So pleased about that. We already have Big Bob Dub already in the chat. We got JC Finance. I see you, Sofa Monster. We got Telfino Martin. We got Chiron J. Stock up, sir. What's up, man? Robert Dixon. Dan the man. Emmons already dropping his levels for the future in the chat. Love it, Dan. Get right to business, baby. PC Hoon, we got Asta, we got Damn, Christopher Holcomb, we got Charlie Taft, 605, T-Dot, Roger Lima, JF Trader, we got Anurag, Razin, Joe Finero, I believe that is, and Shannon Gregory, everybody joining us today. I want to let you know that we are brought to you by... Okay, wait a minute. Okay, no problem. So a couple of seconds. How are you? Good morning, Adara. How's everything with you?
Things are good. Thank you very much. I am trying to get into my TSLA, and I missed my entry by a couple cents. So that means the only way to go in this market in terms of my mentality is to the upside, because right now we're a little displeased that we missed that TSLA. Oh. But that, that means we're going to be more on the ball for next time. Also, I did just sit down in my defense. But I like this area here, this VWAP bounce, which in context, is going to be this VWAP, but right now we're going to be talking about
the production team is literally counting me down to when I have to do the read. We are brought to you by Kalshi. Have you ever wanted to trade on events that directly relate to companies and the economy? Kalshi is the first legal financial exchange in the US where you can bet on any event. Ever wondered if TikTok will be banned, how many cars Tesla will ship this quarter, or what a new movie's Rotten Tomato score will be? Now you can use Kalshi to put your predictions to the test and trade on what you really know. Visit kalshi.com/tradertv to sign up today and grab a $20 bonus after depositing $50 exclusively for the first 500 people using promo code TraderTV. It's easy to get started. Choose an event like whether Boeing will have a new CEO by the end of this year. They will. Currently priced at 76%. Buy 100 shares at 76 cents each, and Boeing has, oh, what am I doing? 76 cents each, and Boeing has announced a new CEO by the end of the year, and you cash out $100 on your $76 bet. Don't just watch the news, profit from it. Join Kalshi's 100,000 users and dive into diverse markets, make your moves, and potentially profit from global events. Shout out to the folks there at Kalshi. Make sure to use that scan code right there for the direct link to Kalshi. All right, let's get right to business, baby. Lots to talk about today, Adara. I'm just going to quickly look at some of these mega cap names before we jump in the lesson du jour. If we can get to the chart, please, guys. There we go. All right, so I'm looking at a couple things. First and foremost, I'm looking at the Amazonian. I'm looking at a possible 180 short if it makes its way up into that $10 level on Amazon. That is a level that I've charted from yesterday, and we didn't really get into it today. That is except for that 830 quick print there, but that was not at my desk. So 180 Amazon, I'm looking for that. Also keeping an eye on the future, 17.9, very close to that level at the moment. We popped into 17.886, so we're a couple of shekels away from the 100-point level. I want to see what's going on there. And Tesla, it's been awfully range-bound here with this 170 and a quarter. I'm getting the nod from the range trader, so I feel good about myself right now. This 170 and a quarter area, that's where we closed out yesterday. Technically, the closing print was 170.14, and we have been below that essentially since we retraced below that level at 820 this morning. So that is a level I want to see whether it holds up or not, or whether there's a range trade to be had on that. So keeping my eyes on those bad boys. But today we have a bit of a special lesson. We're talking a little bit about options, not something that we often talk about too much on the show. So let's get right to it. But obviously, it's options trading within the bigger context of bull flag patterns, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get right to business. So the bull flag, as I mentioned yesterday, beckons with its promise of rising prices. But what if you could magnify your potential gains while limiting your risk? Sounds like a deal. Option spreads offer an attractive strategy within this bullish pattern. But as we often do, let's just start by defining some basic terminologies here. So the option spreads, imagine a ladder instead of climbing a wall directly. Option spread allow you to take a bullish stance without directly buying a call option. They involve combining 2 or more options contracts with different strike prices and or expiration dates to create a defined risk and profit profile. So the bull call spread in a bull flag. This is how it works. So a bull call spread is a popular strategy for the bull flag. 1, you buy a call option. You purchase a call option with a specific strike price, like say 25 bucks, that gives you the right but not the obligation, the right but not the obligation to buy the stock back at the price by the expiration date. And then simultaneously you sell a higher strike call option. So you sell another call option with a higher strike price, example 27 bucks instead of 25, and the same or earlier expiration date. This is called selling call. This is called the selling call against your initial call purchase. So that is the technique here. You're buying a call option on one, and you're selling a higher strike call option on the other side. So 2 parts to this technique. So the bullish advantage is as follows. 1, you have limited risk in this context. Unlike buying a single call option where your losses are potentially not unlimited, but limited to the amount of money that you spent on the option, your risk in a bull call spread is capped to the difference between the strike price you bought and sold minus the premium paid for the spread. I'll repeat that one more time. So your risk in a bull call spread is capped to the difference between the strike prices you bought and sold minus the premium paid for the spread. So that is one element of the advantage there. There is limited risk to this strategy. And there's a profit potential here. I mean, that's what we're all doing this for, right? If the stock price rises above the strike price, we were talking about 25, or 27 for the sold call, by the expiration date. So if the stock price rises above the strike price by the expiration date, you can potentially profit from the difference between the lower strike price you bought, the bought call, and the purchase price. So that is a decent look there. And here's an example. I just wanted to bring this in because I didn't put it in the PowerPoint. So here's an example. Imagine a stock is trading at $23 and it forms a bull flag, okay? You believe the price will continue to rise because we know what bull flags are. They're continuation patterns. We're looking for the price to continue, maybe not right away, but after that prolonged period of consolidation or short, whatever it is, we're looking for the price to continue north. So that we have a bias long. So imagine a stock trading at 23 bucks and it forms a bull flag. You believe the price will continue to rise. So you execute a bull call spread by 1, buying a call option with a strike price of $25, say for a premium of $2, and then simultaneously sell a call option with a strike price of $27, say for the premium of $1. So your max risk, and if I can show this, your maximum risk is limited to 27 minus 25 minus $1 for the premium fees, so it's $1. So obviously it's not going to work so cut and dry in real life. Obviously you're going to have to experiment with this to make sure it fits your risk profile and how you trade, but that is kind of the general idea of this strategy. Okay, so let's get back to the PowerPoint here. So your maximum gain and loss. So calculate your maximum gain and loss for your bull call spread in order to understand the potential risk and reward of your trade. So your maximum gain here, very important. Subtract your lower strike price from your higher strike price, then subtract your premium. You always have to subtract your premium because you're going to pay that no matter what. The market maker's got to get paid, baby. Multiply that number by the amount of shares in the contract, usually it's 100 shares per contract, to figure out your maximum gain. Your max loss is going to be a similar calculation. So you're going to take the cost of the purchased call option and subtract the premium received from the sold call option. Again, take the cost of the purchased call option and subtract the premium received from the sold call option. Then multiply that number, the net premium, by the amount of shares in the contract to figure out your maximum loss. So to summarize, use the difference between the strike prices and as the basis for the max gain calculation, and the difference between the option costs for the max loss. That's essentially what we're trying to do there, okay? And here are some details for beyond the basics. Obviously, we've painted the best case scenario, but that typically doesn't unfold in such a straightforward manner. So spreads offer defined risk, but remember these key points. You need to understand how options operate. Spreads, say that again, Katina, man. Meta is absolutely, is it tanking or going up? The Katina man is short Meta 442, and it's well, right now I'm looking right at it. It's 438.40. So someone's $4 in the money. So shout out to the Katina man. He's saying the market is pulling back aggressively. So if you're in a trade and it's one of these Mag 7 names, yeah, double check on it. So you got to make sure you understand options. Spreads require a good understanding of option mechanics and Greeks, like your deltas, your betas, your gammas, measures of the option sensitivity, obviously. You also have to have a firm understanding of expiration dates. So choose an expiration date that aligns with your trading time frame for the bull flag pattern. Are you looking for a short swing or are you looking for a longer swing? Is it going to be 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months? Are you doing it intraday? Are you doing 0 days to expiry options? So you need to understand the time frame in which you're trading, very important, and the volatility, man. Option premiums are sensitive to volatility. When the volatility goes up, the premium is going to go up as well. Consider the impact of the volatility on your potential profits and losses. And a little bonus tip, excuse me, expread, that's a new word. Explore different spread variations like bull spreads for a more complex but potentially income generating strategy within a bull flag. I know it's a little bit different today, but I want to point that out, that it's not just buying and selling equities that you can profit from bull flags. There is an option strategy as well.
I like that. And also, I like Expread because I thought it was going to be like Express. It's like you're expressing yourself through the bull call spread. I don't know, but I liked Expread. And I think, as you always say, we always like made up words here on how to trade. So I have to applaud Expread just a moment here. Also, I want to applaud NVIDIA or NVDL for being a G. So this market is a little bit to the downside right now, as was mentioned in the chat, as Sean mentioned very astutely and Sharif mentioned as well. But this NVDL, I like this. I'll get the level in NVDA. So we had this kind of flat top break. I tried to get in on an NVDL, wasn't able to get in. That's all right. But look where we are seeing some support. That's right, that flat top. It's not perfect, mind you, but it's close enough. And I will say, I felt emboldened in this trade when we got to 80s and bounced. Now we're probably not going to bounce. And now I think we will be getting out. But every time we get to that 80s level, because 80s is my out, we get to 80s, we bounce. And I'm like, I kind of like that look. Right now, though, I don't. We're decidedly below. So we're getting out. Please just punch. I can re-enter here if I really want to. So we took 2 L's so far this morning. We also had a little small L here on the TQs. Again, I like that we had a little bit of support. We lost it, I got out, so I can't complain about my entry on this. Maybe I could have switched short on these, but I didn't really have any defined levels with which to do so. And I noticed yesterday I had, I think, my best day since going live. And I'm not saying it was like massive profit or anything, but it was the day that I felt the most successful. The P&L reflected that. But I think that was because I traded very few stocks, and B, I always got in win or lose on levels I really liked. And so having that confidence in the levels, I think that was what was able to have me execute the trades. And that's what I'm looking to continue today. Also, thank you guys for the compliments for the hair. Much appreciated. I see in the chat. Also, Pretty Panda wants to look at CGC. So let's take a look at some of these. Or I think weed in general, don't know necessarily CGC, but I like this VWAP hold. Someone's feeling a little scalpy off of VWAP hold. That looks good. The only thing I don't like are the lower highs, but I do like that we have this 880. Oh, Derek, get in. You're going to get in. I need to figure out what my risk is going to be. Let's risk, what is this, 972? Okay, so we're going to risk 8 pennies. I'm trying to make 20. I am okay with that very specific fraction. Let's make it happen. And then, yes, basically what I'm going to do, I have enough where I can take out twice. I'm going to take out some, probably 92s, save a piece for the dream around 10s. I'm okay with this, but it has to go in my side chart, so I remember that I'm involved. If it's on your side chart, it stays in your heart, or I guess on your mind, but that's all good. What else are people looking at let's see what else is happening here as well. Apple, some people are a fan of your Apple trades. So
Oh yeah, it's at VWAP, so I'm taking a shot here, Dara. I mean, I'm gonna give it a decent stop. I'm trying to give it a little bit of room, but I do like this CGC trade. I'd like to get something really towards the low end if possible. I know I'm being picky with a $9 name, and that may not be a good idea here, but yeah, why not? Oh, right down into CGC, what is happening, bruh? So CGC, the bottom dropping off. Let me see where the volume weighted average price is. Didn't get right into this. Okay, so we did break VWAP here at 978 or 979 or thereabouts in the mid 60s. Now, what is the move here, Sharif? Okay, I'm trying to think this through. Yeah, okay, so if the basis upon which I was going to get into this trade was a range trade, that means an outlier move is not the move that I was gauging. So even though it does look like a discount, I am not going to get in here. Let's nurse that Apple trade and see exactly what the situation is. So we're right back at VWAP here on the dead one Apple. And the thing is about this one, you saw this, I was telling the Katina man there right when we started the show, this one popped aggressively through 171. It made a 171 and a third touch. With the same viciousness that it was able to accelerate, it decelerated down right into the volume weighted average price. So I said to myself, okay, well, we had a lot of respect for whatever reason, again, with VWAP this morning on our way up here with AAPL, saving except for these wicks, but the closing prints all north of volume weighted average price. Take a shot, it's a calculated risk. I'll look to get out on the break of a new low there. So the candle that brought us down went into 41s. So for breaks 41s, I'm Gonzino. But at the top of the show, I mentioned TSLA and this level here at 170 that I liked. That is now broken. This looks like a rounded bottom, guys. Shout out to the NOS boss and congratulations, obviously, on the birth of his second child?
Second, I think? Not first.
Yeah, not first. The whole point is to look for a possible dip. I don't want to chase Tesla at these levels because it is, it is a stressful beast. So I'd rather look to take something as a dip. Now, exactly where is going to be a bit of a trick here. Obviously, I like the closing print better, but that looks like it's come and gone, that it may not come into that level anymore. So we'll see exactly what got. Chile Nightmare said that was a good spot to put it. He said that was like out of the way of the keyboard. You're hurting his ears, Ram. He's like, whoa, there's too much happening. Yeah, no, I really like this Tesla trade here. I'm not going to chase it. So let's go ahead and go to the next screen. And, if we miss Tesla, we miss it. Simple as that. Okay, I'm going to put a dip trade to defend 170. So I'm going to go ahead and sit at 170 and a quarter because I like 25 because I'm born on the 25th. And that's one of my lucky numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and sit at 25 there. We'll see if we get filled. If we do, great. If we don't, then we miss out on that trade. All right, go Apple. We're about to get filled here on a beak wetter, and there it is. So VWAP does hold on the dead one today. Shout out to Apple. Let's go back up to 171 a third, baby. That's quite ambitious on my part, though. Well,
I like that.
Yeah,
you got this. let it Tim cook, Sharif.
Yes, ma'am.
Let it Tim cook.
I'm good with that.
Also, NVDL, I'm a little disappointed that we did miss the opportunity to get involved in this. I was trying to get involved at 85. Well, initially 81s. That was probably too conservative. Then I tried 85s. We get to 86s, and then NVDL's like, I'd like to rip now, thank you. So you know what? That's cool. Do your thing. If you bounce, I'm getting in. I think NVIDIA is giving you at least a 15-penny range, if not another potential breakout here. I like that we rested. I like this 80s level. I said that I initially did get out because we dipped into it because my initial entry point was too high. But now I'm more comfortable with this level, so I'm okay with this. We're going to have to wait and see how we do with the NVDL, if it gives me that opportunity. Also, I got smoked on CGC, pun so intended, unfortunately, but I'm happy with where I got out. So before I could even react, before I could even la-di-da, it dies. And you know what, I'm kind of disappointed at myself because I said lower highs. I should have known not to get involved in this until I had the opportunity to maybe short it. But you know what, that's my bad. What I'm gonna do is learn from this. Adair, if you're not 100% confident in a range, if you're seeing a setup that maybe negates the range you had in mind, be patient.
Ma'am.
Be patient so you don't get smoked, which is not what we want here, especially on CGC. That pun is a little bit too apt, unfortunately. So nice look on CGC there. Beautiful look on this. What else are people looking at here? Let me take a, yeah, I agree with you on Tesla, but I don't have an entry point for it right now. NVDL, that's the big fish. That's the big kahuna I'm trying to be cooking up today. So I want to wait because we're kind of seeing a little bit of waffling, so I want to see another retest, some more proof. Q's getting a little bit rangy though, the QQQs. I will be trading the TQs, but I like that we kind of have this chop and churn, lower highs. Could be a Christmas tree retracement. If we get another bite of the apple at that 431.12, which is going to be Qs, and it's also going to be 55.40 on the TQs, this is probably going to be where I have to go short. I like it. I like that we're waffling until we make that move to the downside. But speaking of taking bites out of apples, I know you had your ambitious exit point there for Apple.
Yeah, I know. We're good. We're in the mid-60s at the moment. But I want to mention this possible trade here. So I told you guys I'm looking 180 short on the Amazonian, right? I'm looking to get dip trade here, 170 defend on the Cybertruck. But I'm also looking at the soft one. And the reason is because it's been rejecting the 50 period not just once, but twice. Maybe we get OB thrice. So if we make it back up there in a 411 and a half, 411 and a quarter, depending on where the 50 period is at the time, I'll be looking to get short. Now, I'm unsure if this is a 412 rejection or a 50 period rejection. So I guess we're going to find out if we make our way back there on Microsoft. So I'm looking possible short here on Softy. It's up 2.5%. But, you know, realistically, it was, I don't want to call it a mixed report. It wasn't a mixed report, but the guide was a little light for some things, okay? And that's why we didn't skyrocket 10% like goggles. So we'll continue to watch Microsoft. If we have a big move up, 411 and a quarter, 411 and a half, it's really going to depend on where the 50 period is. We'll look to get it in there for Softy. So I'm keeping my eyes on that. I'm also noticing Meta. Interesting look here. So we just finished talking about the 50 period on Softy. Look how the 50 period is featuring on Meta's 5-minute chart. So we've had basically 4 5-minute candles, 4 out of 5. The last 4 out of 5 5-minute candles have all rejected off the 50 period. Maybe not the wicks, but certainly the closing prints. This is the only candle that really didn't touch the 50 period and looked like a bit of a hammer candle off VWAP. So whatever reason here, something is afoot with the 50 period and Meta. So we'll be looking possibly to short at that level. Oh, and this thing I completely failed to look for here. So there is a reason why we're rejecting there. It doesn't look like it's a 50 period. It looks like the closing print from Meta yesterday is 441 and a third. So after giving up the ghost on the closing print yesterday, after this double top over here, we're now hovering below the closing print from yesterday. So maybe it isn't the 50 period. Maybe it is just the closing print. So we'll keep eyes on that. We haven't got filled on Tesla, and we're still in the dead one Apple at the moment, looking for a VWAP hold. I mean, there's really nothing more to this trade than a VWAP hold. So we'll continue to watch that, Adair.
Yeah, I still don't have anything that I'm involved with, guys. I had some trades earlier today. I should have just had my dip buy set in NVDL because it did take off a little bit, but all good in the hood. Being cautious, waiting for opportunities. I have Snapchat up here right now because some people were mentioning Snap. This is not one I have any reads on right now. However, I do like these 2 bearish candles in a row. That being said, this is an earnings game, so I'm not going to take anything on just 2 candles. Patience. It is on my side chart, and we're going to wait and see what happens here. NVDL, that's the main thing I'm really salivating over, though. I'm really upset I missed my opportunity. But that's all good. You gotta shake it off. Keep going. It was all a dream. These markets are not a dream, though. They feel like a dream. I'm sure right now there's some opportunities for bears and bulls. But Kendall Lopez, thank you so much for pointing this out. We have a bull flag on SMCI on the 5-minute chart. Indeed, we do.
Oh, wow.
However, now we're consolidating below the 90 EMA, so I'm not actually sure this will have a bull breakout. I'm going to make a semi-bold prediction here.
It's a good look.
This consolidation below the 90 EMA, not a great look for me. I don't know. I mean, I know.
And it's scary. It's SMCI.
That's the thing as well. Yeah. I want to be very cautious. Like, I totally see what you mean, Kendall Lopez. I agree. It very much is forming like a bull flag, but it doesn't mean it'll manifest.
It was a $2 spread a second ago. $2. I mean, how do you trade that on a prop floor? I don't know.
That's
Not with my
scary.
buying power and my shutdown anyway.
That's hard.
So.
I like this range earlier, but again, if it wasn't SMCI, this would be a great range.
Oh, yeah.
But it is SMCI,
Oh, yeah.
so it's a little bit scurry. Yeah, that's my
Yes,
take.
ma'am. All right, let's have a look at the small cap gappers. There was a lot when I sat down today to make the small cap gapper charts. Here we go, guys. NIVF. I had a dip trade set up on this one. I had to cancel it because I had to do the lesson, but this one is holding above the volume weighted average price. It is day number, I don't know, 4 or 5 for this name. This is not a new name today, so don't really be, panicking, looking for a catalyst. It's a holdover, I think from earlier in the week, maybe late last week, whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, we're above $2 and we're above VWAP. So that is a good look there for NIVF, but we are making lower highs. Kind of looks bull flaggish, but these small cap gappers, they have a way of luring you in and taking your money. So, one sec, remind me later, one day. Okay, Trade Ideas always wants attention. Anyway, so NIVF, I'll definitely be interested in something on this bad boy here. It definitely looks really good. Look at this one. There's a lot of small cap gappers that are tradable right now. SBFM, a cool 27% a quarter, sub $1 today, started its life at 81 pennies, knocked on the door of $1.10. But now it's doing the dance here above a buck. It's fighting a little above a buck, a little below a buck. We'll see how this one resolves. VWAP on this bad boy, 95 pennies. So we're trading above the volume weighted average price. All the check marks beside this name, definable pre-market high, above pre-market high, above VWAP. All the ones I'm showing you, I believe, are tradable under my system. And then another one, CGEM. Look at this monster. What is this? 19 a quarter print. Goes up to 25 uninterrupted. That looks like a buy program if I've ever seen one. These are all uninterrupted green candles. And VWAP on this one, 24 bucks. Look for something as a retracement off a key level of support. Not much in the way of price action support here, at least on the 5, because it was just uninterrupted to the high side. But the volume weighted average price hanging out at 24 bucks. That could be an interesting dip trade. HWH, another 27, 28% banger. Got off the schneid there at 1 2/3. That was the closing print. We knocked on the door of 2 1/3, but alas, nobody opened. We went up to about 228 trading. Also, you guessed it, above the volume weighted average price. That's hanging out at $2.05 on my chart. And another one, WIMI, WIMI, another decent move here. An 89 penny stock, knocked on the door of $1.10, now trading at 103, trying to hold VWAP as well. These are all interesting. And last but not least, AGEN. AGEN? I don't know what this is. That's a bit of a bigger stock, closed out at 8 1/3 yesterday. We almost got into 11, 1098 HOD. It's dancing with a 10 period right now. VWAP on this one is 990. All of these, if I have a system where they have to have a definable pre-market high, they'll have to have broken that pre-market high after the bell, and they have to be trading above VWAP for me to get into them. All 6 of these are have those criteria, so we'll keep eyes on the small caps. I know it is a big cap day today with all those earnings, but I can't control that there's 6 good small caps here, Adara.
You can't control it.
No.
You shouldn't have to. Yeah. You really shouldn't have to. So thank you, Sharif, for giving the small caps a shout out. I also want to shout out, I'm going to make sure I get the right person in the chat here who mentioned this. Tex, thank you for mentioning Soxel, SOXL. This is not one I trade, but I do, or usually, but I liked that we had this kind of range. And I liked also this bottoming wick candle that Tex mentioned in the chat as well. And I like taking stuff off the 9 EMA. I talk about the 9 EMA ad nauseum. We're besties. Sometimes, she betrays me. She'll, steal a couple bucks or whatever. But we're all good. We're all good, the 9 EMA. But so basically, thank you. But so I like this. I initially wanted 58s. We get to 57s and we run away like a scared puppy. So I said, Soxel, don't like that. We switched to 56s. So it'll be a 16 penny winner. I can live with that. I was risking into 32. So I was risking 8 pennies. I can make 16. That's a 2-to-1 risk to reward. I don't like, though, how hesitant we're getting. We're getting very skittish, and now we're kind of curling down on that 9 EMA, which I, of course, do not enjoy. So let's see how we do here on the SOSX here. Let's find out or the SOXL, what am I saying? Soxel, SOXL. Also, we had a super chat from Danny Lyons, $2. Thank you so much. Just bragging, I shorted Roku at $63. What's a Roku? Yeah, shout out to you, Dandelions. Let's take a look at. I also just love everything about the wording of that super chat. The what's a Roku?
So
the just bragging. The name Dandelions. This is great. Yeah, 63. I'm just gonna give you a round of applause. That's awesome. You are a cool. Just under $6 in the money, so nice look for you. Roku tried to curl a little bit though, getting higher highs, higher lows, so this could be interesting. This isn't too expensive, I might trade Roku. I think Roku is going on the side chart. Move over Snapchat. What's a Snapchat? I'm looking at Roku. So shout out to you there, Dandelions. What else are people looking at here in the chat? Let's take a look at stuff for people. Someone else was mentioning Intel. I know someone was mentioning Intel. So yeah, we'd love to give you the Intel and Intel. I think that was Ollie in the chat. Ooh, Intel.
What happened?
I like this.
Oh yeah.
9 EMA, my favorite level. We're getting into the 9 EMA. I want to see what we do here. Higher highs, higher lows. This VWAP skirt below and then bounce up is beautiful. It is gorgeous. And I'm also long SOXL, so clearly I am bullish semiconductors, I guess. So let's wait and see what occurs in this market. Basically flat on SOXL. Really upset I didn't have my out just a penny lower, because then we would have gotten out. But you know what? Those are the markets for you. They chop you up. They move you all around, and I'm making it sound like I'm doing the hokey pokey. But yeah, they trip you up a little bit. All you have to do is just keep going and say, no, market, you don't win. You do not win today. So good times there. Just moving and vibing and hanging out with this market over here.
I thought you were going to say this here market.
This here market.
Yeah, you say that a lot. I like it.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
I wasn't laughing at you, by the way. The Chilean Nightmare is taking pictures, and he was like doing a little stretch.
Oh, I didn't even hear you laughing.
Yeah, okay, cool. It made me laugh because he was doing his little stretch, but because he's having the dude kills it. I'll get to that.
Smiling, taking photos. I love it.
All right, guys, we're still holding the dead one at the moment. We're looking for a move back into 171 on Apple. My dip trade looks like it's going to go unfilled right now. I was a little too aggressive. Not aggressive. Frugal. I sat at 170.25. I thought that was plenty because I was looking for a 170 retest on the Cybertruck on Tesla. And so I sat at 170.25, 25 pennies, and it doesn't really want to break the 40 penny area. So it's coming down to 170.40. It's accumulating, looks like it wants to break 171 here, bull flag-ish or accumulation consolidation area. The prudent thing I think would be to move up my entry from 170.25 into 170.5, and I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go sit at 170.55s. And that's where we're going to sit. So we'll see if we get filled there. Here comes 171. So we may not get that fill. Anyway, so keeping my eye on Tesla, keeping my eye on Apple as well. I want to keep repeating that I am looking to short Amazon at 180. If it does make it up there right now, HOD on AMZN is 179.25. In addition to that, I am looking to short Softy, Microsoft at the 50 period if it does make its way back there. Currently, it's a little dead right now. Let's be real about it. Well, hold on, Sharif. If you're looking to short at the 50, then wouldn't that mean that you'd have to curl off this 409 to 411? So why not get long here with a 408.5 break so you risk 50 pennies? I think that's actually not a bad idea. Where are we on the future? Because hold on. We have to see what we're doing here on the future. So we are holding, for whatever reason, resistance level 1 on pivots at this 17.8 1/3, 17.8 1/4, or thereabouts. Seems to be holding the 20 period. And that's not a level I usually use on the future, quite frankly. So I'm just making an observation. It seems to be bouncing off the 20 period. Obviously, I'm very cognizant of these lower highs and this possible flat bottom that could be coming in here. Decisions. Okay, so I think I will go long the Softy here, Dara, so I'm just going to send it to you. Oh, and Tesla's just going without me. So there it goes. So we missed the trade on Tesla. That sucks. I had the right idea, just didn't have the right price. There goes Tesla, and here comes 171.50. Come on, bro. All right, so Tesla on the way up, Dara. I'm going to cancel these orders as they're no longer valid. Let's check out the soft one. Let's go over here. Do I have Microsoft up on a screen already? Because I don't want to duplicate it. Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to go long softy. We're going to risk 50 pennies into 408.5.
Yeah, that, like, let me tell you, that chart is not going to kill you, softy. Nice look there. Softy with this chart. I'm going to keep singing this now. But also Darwin earlier was joking, we have to have a bet on if anyone will be singing TLC on the show.
Oh,
it's almost
wow.
definitely a yes.
Oh,
I said to him, you could probably make a killing on that if you bet 4. Because
with Kalshi.
With Kalshi,
wow,
exactly. That was, I think, where that
that's
came.
Brilliant.
Joke. Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure you could make a pretty penny betting on that. But also SOXL, I'm proud of myself because I had to switch the style up, and if they hate, let them hate. And no money's piling up, but I'm just waiting for that opportunity there. I initially got long here, and I was a little bit upset at myself. I said this: if I had only gotten out 1 penny earlier than I set my exit, I would have been fine. But I didn't. I had to live with that. We got lower there, lost a couple pennies, no big deal. Then I said, Adara, we now are holding underneath the 90 MA. We're curling. Get short. So I did. I looked at the SOXS, which is the short ETF, for confirmation, and sure enough, it is bouncing off the 90 MA. You know what else is curling a little bit down here as well? Our pal, NVIDIA. I think I said our friend and our pal at the same time, so it's at our pen.
That's fine.
But our pal, yeah. So NVIDIA also curling down here. If we... This is juicy. Okay, so this is the 867.5 area on NVDA, which is going to be that area I have been obsessed with on NVDL. That is going to be 3680. I like this short. We are going to be short all up over this place here on this market. I said earlier today, I really need to be focused on levels I like and just taking those levels. That was what worked for me yesterday. And so that is what we're trying to do right now today. SOXL currently basically at my entry point. I like it to get out of this little 10 penny range it's trading. And hey, SOXL, if you want to trade in the 10 penny range, just let me know because I will trade you. But you need to let me know. Like, I can't read your mind. SOXL, all I can do is read your chart. What else? Oh, lots of people mentioning BTC. I know Rob EV, I guess not only interested in EVs because he was telling me about Bitcoin. I have the IBIT up here. Oh, this is a nice look. Yeah, and I think Rob, if I'm going to paraphrase what you said as well, I think it was something along the lines of Bitcoin suspiciously weak given what the Qs were doing earlier today, and I don't disagree here at all. Nice move to the downside, starting at 10:30 here, ironically when the crypto update happened, and IBIT turning to the downside, falling below that VWAP, and now bouncing off that 90 MA. This is a nice look. I don't mind IBIT here. Maybe we'll get into a bit of IBIT.
I got stopped out of Microsoft, so I'm disappointed with myself on that one. We're holding Apple for a nice winner, but we got stopped at a softie. So I could have got shaken out of this one. I think I was too tight with my stop because right back up it goes anyway. If it comes into the 50 period, that was my original trade. What caused me to get into softy here because I'm anticipating that curl back into the 50. So you saw me think about this out loud. If I'm anticipating a curl back into the 50, why not get long at these levels? Maybe it doesn't work like that. The logic maybe doesn't connect like that. So anyway, if it makes its way into the 50 period, then we'll look to get long. Tesla's just flying here, man. Tesla is on the way up to 172 now. It's absolutely blue through 171. So no dip trades here of mine are going to get filled on Tesla. Disappointed about this trade. Should have got in. Anyway, whatever, we'll keep eyes on it. What else is popping off? All right. Keeping an eye as well on SBFM. So this one did a big boy curl. So this is a small cap gapper, one of the ones that we talked to you about at the top of the show. Here it is, near high day again. I am cognizant that this one did top tail at 110, and this now is a 109 top tail. So look for a possible short here, as this is often what we see, you know, these ones that, these small cap gappers that don't necessarily break the previous high, and it ends up being a bit of a double top. So yeah, I'll be cognizant of that. I think for us though at Real Trading, this is gonna be a pay for shorts sort of setup. So if you're able to get shorts on this one, shout out to you guys. I know on my platform here, it is not available for shorting. I'm not talking about Real Trading. I'm talking about my own personal platform. It is not available. So I usually use that as a gauge as to whether it's easy to short or not. So that's one thing. All right, 172 now, 172.07, high of day on Tesla. There's another trade that may come into fruition here, and it's a VWAP rejection on goggles. So have a look at this. We popped into the volume weighted average price here between 10.50 and 11. So for 10 minutes, we were rejecting VWAP. We're right back at the volume weighted average price, piercing through it into 172.25. Keep your eye, though, on the higher lows, because this could be a flat top break, right? With this 172.25 acting as a flat top. Right now, though, we are getting a bit of a retracement off VWAP again on goggles. So keep your eye on that. That could present you with another opportunity for a trade. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, Softy didn't pop right back into 409 as of yet. So happy I didn't punch right back into that. And Tesla a little bit below 172 right now. Good move up for Tesla, though. Just really, really upset that I didn't get that trade. But what's the next trade? As the OB, the one, the Kenob always likes to say there.
Yeah, don't get too depressed, La. For that.
Not.
But yeah, so this SOXL is so bamboozling. Now we're like flip-flopping on this 90 MA. Is it going to be up? Is it going to be down? Can you make up your mind, please? Please and thank you, kind sir, SOXL. So I'm still in the short. I want to clarify, yeah, I did mention I was a little bit slow on the uptake there, getting out of the long, but I do not consider this a revenge trade because I did like that level for the short. And it was working. It just didn't stay working. So right now we're still waiting. I have no reason to leave yet unless we get above this line I drew here. Look at that massive area of resistance on that 47 area earlier. I like that. Risking about 9 pennies. I can live with that. So we're going to have to wait. Right now, though, SOXL is very indecisive and it needs to decide who it would like to take to the dance. The Bulls or the Bears? Because it's kind of running out of time for me personally, or at least for my very limited amount of patience. SoFi, which I didn't even realize I had on my side chart, is like popping up here. So we're going to take a look at SoFi. Yeah, so nice little look here. Not a ton of volume on this move, but more volume than we've had in the last couple candles. Just broke above VWAP. I don't have any reads on this, and this isn't really rangy in a way that I like, so I think we'll have to kick him off the side chart. If anybody has any contenders for the new place on the side chart, any stocks that are worth looking at, let me know. I'm always looking for some new opportunities. Unity holding 24 says Rainmaker. I like that name. That implies a lot of power.
Yeah.
Like the rain. Like, Rainmaker 24. Hopefully you're raining profits. Hopefully that's the type of.
Oh, I like that.
But we have this Unity here. For a second, on my brain it looked like a J. Oh, it's because it was too close. Unity. This is nice actually. This is interesting too because look where we bounced off of. Yes, it was a lower low, but it bounced off that previous support area around, as was mentioned to your just shy of 24. This is a nice look. I want to see if we can make a higher high here at 24.17. If we reject again, this could get a little spicy, but I think we found a new friend for the side chart. And I think its name is UNI, or it's just you. Is it the ticker is just you? So Unity, let's see if you and me can get along and we can have a trade going here. I am fat fingering typing buttons.
When you want to enter, just throw it to me so that.
Oh, I was just pulling up my side chart.
Cool, cool.
It took me too long, but yeah, I'm all good. Thank you, I appreciate that.
All right, here we go. 50 pennies on the soft one. I took that back again. It broke through 409, and I'm taking it out too early. I'm telling you, this is likely going to retrace into 411 or 411 and a half. We'll see. So we got cut up on the first one and we avenged it on the second one. I did like this hold here. I did like it. And I still like it. And I still like it. 411 and a quarter, 411 and a half short. If it makes its way back into these levels over here, I will be looking to get short on Softy. And I see Amazon. It is on its way to 180. I am short bias on Amazon at 180. If it makes it up there, you're not going to see me with a resting order though on the Amazon because, well, I can get my face ripped off that way, especially if buying pressure comes in bigly there. So I'll be watching to see exactly how it trades at the $10 level. Shout out to Amazon. We're nicely in the money now on our Apple trade as now we're knocking the door of 170.80. We're long 57s. Let's see if we can make it into 171. I want to see if we can get a whole dollar level touch there on the dead one, Apple. So we'll continue to watch that. Oh, we got a super chat. Nice. Guilty Gunner. I like that. First DJT rally tomorrow. Okay, yeah, we know about that. They've been teaching that. That's fine, but we don't want to promote anything on the show that doesn't pay us. So, yeah, quite frankly, it's a business, baby. Not that I have any aversion whatsoever against DJT. None. I just want to make that very clear, okay? Cutco Kareem, Sharif, dip on Tesla coming in. Dude, that was the whole idea behind my Tesla trade. You're going to upset me again because it's going to remind me of how badly I did on this one. I was sitting at 170 and a quarter, Kareem, and it didn't come in. I moved up my order to 170 and a half. It didn't come in. It just skyrocketed without me, but it is topping right now at 172. This is not a trade that I had planned. So I see how beautiful of a rejection 172 is, but it isn't one that I had ready, and it's not one that I want to take willy-nilly on the fly because I did not have that thought. I did not have that plan. What is 7? Like 7 umi? How do you say the 7? Umi?
Oh, we talked about that. I don't
remember.
remember.
In Arabic, the numbers mean like pronunciations because they look like Arabic letters.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if
cool
that's
language.
it. Yeah, yeah. Can we talk about food a bit? Why Chipotle and Wingstop doing so well? I don't know. I've always asked that same question about Chipotle, and apparently their margins are ridiculous. And they had, so I was reading their earnings a few days ago. They reported a few days ago, right? Yeah, they did. I was reading about their report, and they had like these specials, like these burrito specials. They just marked up way higher margins than their regular items, and they were killing it on those. It was like black bean something or another. Personally, I don't really understand the business that well. Alfred does. Maybe I'll ask him. He's dabbling in, what's it called? DPZ in Domino's right now. So maybe I'll get back to you on that one. I don't have an answer though, sadly. Hey, Kanye East, what's up, my man? So shout out to you. All right, I'm keeping an eye on Apple as we knock on the door of 80s. And again, Microsoft going without me here, and I kind of knew that that would be the case, but it's all good. Microsoft, I'm looking to short, guys, 411 and a quarter.
Yeah, so we, that SOXL, we took an L on SOXL. SOXL chopped us up. I'm going to be honest, guys, not positive on anything right now, except for inside of me. I am positive. We're going to keep this day going. We're going to make things happen. I am pleased as punch. We're not down by very much. I feel pretty happy with how I was able to manage all the trades, and I am so excited to keep trading and keep trucking. In both the SOXL trades, had I punched out earlier, had I been scalpier, I would have been fine. I was still planning to scalp. I just wasn't quick enough on the draw. So that teaches me something. It's like now, Adara, you like a level, you get that level going. Why did my order get rejected? Oh, so this is NVDL. It's not letting me short for some reason. Okay, good times. So that's all cool. We're going to have to wait and find out what happened there. Also, right now, I probably would have not been down for that order anyway because we just had 3 bullish candlesticks in a row. So I want to be very careful to see what happens on these trades. So what happened?
Yeah, well, we were just talking about food, Katina, man. People want to know. Very nice. Guys, this is the kind of food we get here. Look how quality this food is, man. Shout out to Katina, man. Enjoy, my man. Yeah. It just dismisses me. Wow. Shout out to him. All right. Sorry to interrupt you, by the way. I am done my Apple trade as we knock on the door of 171. Very happy with this trade. We take the VWAP hold, we put the right stop, and we wait a little bit. First profit at 70, second profit at 90. I'm out of that trade, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, congrats on there. And the Apple beaks are getting wet. Tim Cooks are cooking. Yeah, it's a nice look there. TQs being mentioned here, or the Qs in general. I just have the Qs up. This is an interesting double top. To me, it kind of looks bullish. I don't have much of a read. However, if we bounce again off that 431.20 area, which will be on the TQs, going to be roughly that 55.40, which is a level I did like earlier for a short and wasn't able to get. I like it. I like it. TQs, I would like all the smoke. Just keep that in mind. I mean, I know you're really busy. A lot of people trading you, but if you can get to that, 55.40, I'd be pleased as punch. Let's look at TSLL, or we'll look at Tesla, but yeah, TSLL. Kind of interesting here. We're seeing that continued bounce off the 90 MA. A little bit stagnant, though. We did have that doji, which makes me a little bit nervous, so we're not going to get involved here right away. But look at this. Tesla in general showing the same kind of move to the downside of these last 3 candles. I want to see what we do with that 90 MA. We did have a little bit of a stutter earlier at that 170.87 area, so we're getting into an area of interest for me. What else? I think there was something I saw people mention that I was like, I want to take a look at this, and I do not. Oh, Short Airlines says Dandelion. So let's look at some of these airlines. Let's look at UAL. Well, let's look at AAL. We'll start with UAL. Oh, I see. Oh, this is actually a nice look.
Like when you move back from
Yeah,
there.
because I have to like process it more fully. This is interesting. So I like this range. The one thing I don't like about this range is that I think we could maybe be turning here. This to me is a very flat bottom. And I think it might give you, a couple, you get a couple flights out of this, but in the long term, this could, could be a little bit more turbulence. That the wings might fall off, which is again, a joke I feel weird making given Bowen's current situation. But this UAL, I am really cautious of this flat bottom for myself entering now. But let's take a look at AAL as well. I mean, I have no problem getting into one of these airlines, buying my ticket and getting jet setting there. I just want to wait and see what occurs on this. I think bouncing off this VWAP could be nice here too for AAL. AAL to me is a bit stronger than UAL, and I have a better sense of trend than I did with UAL. What other airlines? We have Love. Let's see if Love's showing us any love today. Love. Well, it's a LUV, so I want to say Love. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, this one actually kind of getting a nice pump there to the upside. So I guess investors loving Love. But yeah, that UAL and AAL, I think they might both get spots on the side chart because I am interested in what both of them have to say, and I might get on those flights.
All right, I want to talk here. I had something to talk about. I forgot what I was going to talk about, but that's fine. I'm looking at Amazon, guys, because we just moved up into 179.85, and I've been yapping about this 180 level. I charted this 180 level yesterday. So here are my levels on the Amazonian. So let's just zoom in a little bit so we can see. So this is what I like. There's a hammer candle on the weekly, so I felt bullish about this because of the hammer candle that we put in yesterday. Flip to the weekly on the Amazon, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. In addition to that, we are up 3.4%, okay? So I saw resistance, 50 EMA on the 4 hour. So let's look at that. Let's bring that in and look at the 4 hour on the Amazon and see what I was talking about there. Flip to the 4. Here it is. We're right at that. So that red line, see that? We rejected here initially at the 50 period, and we're having trouble with it again. So I said to myself, well, what price is really holding that 50 period moving average? It really is 180. So there's also, 200 EMA on the 4 hour support, but we're well below that right now. That's at 176.85, so I'm not worried about that. And then there's PA, price action resistance at 180. So that's why I am short biased despite the fact that it's up 3 1/3 at this specific level. Now it is coming off a little bit, so I may have missed my entry. The entry here was to watch what it did at 180. Alas, it did make its way up there quite yet, 179.85, and that may be as high as it gets. I'm not saying that we're going to retrace here off Amazon. I'm just saying that it didn't make its way up there, so I didn't have an opportunity to watch it at these levels. The other level that I want to see now, maybe this retracement off 180, we find support here at 179 1/5. And the reason is, look at these two tops that we put in on the Amazon right now. 179.20 seems to be an interesting area here. So if we retrace aggressively, break that third of a dollar, I'll be looking at the fifth of a dollar. I'm still short bias at 180. Doesn't mean that I can't, micro trade this between the ranges, right? With 179.20 being a support level on the lower time frame and 180 being a resistance level on the higher time frame. I'm fine with that thinking. So we'll keep watching this one. I am very interested in it at these levels. Now, I did miss a trade here. Let's be honest about this. I was talking about Meta earlier, and we were talking about the 50 period, and we were talking about this over here. It came right back into the 50 period at 440, and it dropped nicely about $1.02 and 2/3 over here. Beautiful move right back into the 50 period. So that is 3 rejections now on Meta off the 50 period on the 5-minute chart. The EMAs, all the moving averages differ depending on what time frame you're looking at. So when I talk about these black charts, they're always on the 5-minute unless I say otherwise, okay? So I just want to point that out for everybody. Anyway, good move back down off that 440, down 440.80. Looks like there it was the price for the 50 period on the soft one. Look at Apple. So I literally got top wick there on Apple on that out. Apple broke down aggressively off that 170.90 where we got our out. Look at this. It's breaking now the $0.50 and breaking the volume weighted average price. So the dead one coming right back down. Let's see if it finds support in the low 40s. That's where we troughed out last time off that big 171.34 touch, and then we tanked, breaking VWAP, almost a $1 drop from there to there, on Apple. So not typically moves that I've seen on Apple as of late, but definitely not out of the realm of possibility. All right. Sorry, just before I send it back to Adira, we had a nice 172 rejection on Tesla, but now we're coming into 171. So initially, 171 we were using as that level of resistance, and I want to get that 170.25 dip. Now, it looks like it might be holding up at 171 here. So this could be another curl back up for Tesla. Keep your eye on 171 hold here on TSLA. If it holds, we could see 172 easily again, or even 173. I wouldn't put anything beyond the capabilities of Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, we do call it stress left for a reason, though yesterday you and I were debating if that title is still accurate. But also, you know what is accurate? We have a super chat. Thank you so much to Zonnie Zimbabwe, $9.99. Hey, if you saw earlier in the chat, in the morning, had some 825 calls in NVIDIA. I sold. I'm contemplating getting rid of my 3 contracts at 8:30 since I came in 11:20.82, and we're near 40. Sorry, I'm just trying to this message. Yeah, so NVIDIA. I mean, it's like a look at NVIDIA for you. So what was this? 825 calls. So yeah, that nice look there. Pretty strong. I'm contemplating getting rid of my 3 contracts at 8:30. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. We don't give advice. I will say, though, I mean, NVIDIA was strong earlier, but now we're seeing that curl below the 90 MA, right?
Sorry, I wasn't looking, yeah.
Yeah, the NVIDIA kind of getting a little bit weaker here, I will say. And sometimes, you know, I want to look at the SOXL as well. Oh, it's on the AM, Adira, come on. To give a sense, because I noticed earlier today, those two sort of trading in tandem, not perfectly, mind you, but there were some similarities. Right now, SOXL is actually stronger than NVIDIA, so let me pull up NVIDIA again. But yeah, I mean, for me, again, we don't give advice. I will say, though, I think it is getting a little bit weaker here. We're really struggling holding that 868 with the viciousness that I think it would maybe require. So that is my take there. Thank you very much for your super chat, Donnie Zimbabwe. Also, TQQs, shout out to 1320 Wolf for telling me, because you know, I mentioned earlier I wanted that 5540, and then you know we look at lots of charts. I missed it. Then 1320 Wolf tags me, Adara along the queues. I was like, oh my gosh. So I watched a little bit. I still like the level. I got in. I don't like now that we're struggling with the 90 MA, but I like it for now. I like that we're holding it. I want to get at least 5560s. Knowing me, I'm probably most comfortable with 5560s, especially because I've had some trading L's today that would have been avoidable had I had better outs, just quicker, scalpier outs. So I'm okay with this TQQs. Let's get it cracking. If we break below this area, this 55.25. Look at that resistance. Look at that support. If we break below there, I am out. Resistance, indeed. That's the pièce de resistance right there. That 55.25. And then if I'm risking 15 pennies trying to make minimum 20, I can live with that risk reward.
You're quite cultured individual. Thank you. You've probably watched Les Miserables.
Oh, of course. I love Les Mis.
Okay.
I really wanted to play Javert in high school because we were going to do Les Mis, and then we didn't. Well, we were in an all-girls school, so I could have been Javert, but then they didn't do it when I was really sad.
All right. One of the best movies.
It's a classic.
Yeah, Russell Crowe kills it in that, eh?
Yeah. Javert, that's Javert.
Yeah. Guys, we just took a nice, what was that? A 50-penny winner on the Cybertruck, 171 defend. I just finished yapping about this. We said 171 was a resistance level, 172 rejected. It will likely use 171 as support, 171 long. First beak wetter at the $0.25, second beak wetter at the 50 penny. Please just punch about this trade. Micro trades, nothing really to write home about, but they're you know, planned, and I'm happy about them. So let's go ahead and see what the next trade is. I am definitely looking at the 50 period on Meta, okay? This is going to be not even OB thrice. This is going to be like whatever four is. 1, 2, and 3 over here. What is fourth? Once, twice, thrice.
Twice? No, I'm joking.
I don't know. What is it? Yeah, I don't even know. I usually, you know, this kind of stuff. So
I don't know if there is one.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, 440 and 2/3 Ram
Quadruple.
is quadruple. Yeah. Well, I knew that, but I thought there was a
better
once,
one.
Twice, thrice. Yeah, like
Or thrice? I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Maybe the chat knows.
Let us know if you know.
Yeah. Quad rice? Yeah, I know he's making it up.
Rice, but
I know he's making it up. I love it. 440 and 2/3 Ram. I'm looking for a possible short on META. It has been a 50-period rejection over and over and over on Meta today. I don't know if we get it on the fourth time, but I will be looking there. New booty. So we'll keep that on the lookout. For whatever reason, AAPL keeps finding a bit of support here at VWAP. Now, we have lower highs. No question about that. 171 1/3 was the high there. 170.92 was the high there. But we keep coming into the volume weighted average price, and there does seem to be a buyer in and around there right now, coming back into the lows as I say that. We'll see how this one ends up panning out. Wow, got out of Tesla nicely there as it tanks $1 out of my entry there, Adara. So Tesla coming back down into 170.50. Decisions to be made here at 171 because we were using 171 all morning as a level of resistance. Sorry, not 171, excuse me, 170. 170 to 170.25 as a level of resistance on Tesla before it started doing this rounded bottom, and then we got the move up. So we'll keep eyes on the Cybertruck as well. And goggles just rejected the 50 period right now as well. So not bad. That 172 1/5, it's back down south of 172 now. Here comes 171 3/4. So Google, the 50 period keeps featuring today, and I don't know why. And it doesn't really matter because all we need is something off which to base a repetitive trade. You're seeing the 50 period feature on Microsoft, feature on Meta, and now it is featuring on Google, all as levels of resistance today, Adair.
Oh, nothing comes after thrice. Thank you, Ramin, for sending that. A shout out. Ramin will always send us great stuff in our midday group chat. And it's just amazing. I really enjoy it. Also, I am enjoying this Intel long. Rake it up, hopefully. I'm joking, we're like 2 pennies in the money. But I'm just pleased as punch to have an entry that I feel really confident in. Like I said today, it's been a bit of a struggle for me. Maybe I'm just tired because it's a Friday, I don't know. But my brain has just not been on 100, and we're trying to get it to 100. Also, I did get out of the TQQs. I'm not getting back in this. We dipped a little bit into 20s, and I said, Adara, you had to stop, you have to honor that stop. So I got out. I'm pleased as punch with the fact that I honored the exit. Now, mind you, this could still bounce, but I don't want to force a way into this because I've noticed my worst trades this week, the names I've done the worst on, so that would be CleanSpark on Tuesday, NVDL on Wednesday, are the ones where I just get so insistent that there is a level, I get so stubborn that I get lost in the sauce. So I'm not going to do that. If there's a level I like later, that's fine. But right now, as much as this still could be along with that bounce, it's not one I feel comfortable taking. So I'm going to have to not step on that trampoline. But congrats to anybody who does. I know there are some people still involved in the queue. Shout out to you. Also, Intel. Thank you, Intel. We're going to be scalping some out here. And this is the type of, and honestly, this is interesting too, because this is not a level that I was necessarily super interested, not one that I thought much about going into this, right? But I just really, I looked at this, it was on my side chart, and I was like, hey, I like this bounce off the 90 EMA. I was going to risk about 10 pennies into that 31, I guess like 7 pennies, 31.95. So that would be, yeah, 31.95. So I don't, 8 pennies. I'm sort of tired. But yes, I was okay with that risk to reward. I'm still keeping a piece for the dream here, actually. I still have 1/3 of my position left, ready to see what comes next. Happy I did secure profits for 2/3 of this trade and ready to see where else this Intel journey takes me. Intel. You got to give me the intel on where you're going next. But yeah, pretty happy with that trade. Not much else to look at here. And I don't disagree with 1320 Wolf saying, still don't trust these markets. I
saw that. Yeah, look, man. I mean, yeah, they are quite bamboozling. You know, I can see why you feel that way. I don't know. I don't want to ever have a relationship with the markets. I'm completely agnostic as to how these markets run. You can't look at it and take it personally. You take an L, it's on you. It's not on the market. That's just, otherwise you're just going to create this feeling of animosity, and I don't think that's going to help any. All right, 179 here on Amazon. We were talking about 179 1/5 being a level of support. I was wrong on that. It doesn't hold up at those levels, but it does look like that whole dollar level right now at 179 is a bit of a level of support on the 5-minute. I should also tell you that that 179 area is the 10 EMA. And Amazon has shown its propensity on the day to hold the 10 EMA as a level of support. The 10 EMA is the solid green line. You can see here it's been hugging the 10 EMA essentially since 10:30 onward. So we're going on an hour and a half now where this has featured as a level of support. But like I said, the last few days, when the 10 EMA breaks and something is trending up, look to the 20. The deeper retracements seem to come into the 20. The more shallow retracements, the more often retracements seem to hold up at the 10. Why? Don't care. Just going to make that observation. So we're watching 179. We're watching the 10 on the 5-minute to see if 179 holds up. If it does, we'll take another dip trade on Amazon here. It's already printed 179.85, despite the fact that I am short bias at 180. And that's because it is an important level of resistance on the daily. So I'm going to keep my eye here on Amazon at these levels. Also, keep in mind, 440 2/3 is the 50 period on Meta, and we've rejected off the 50 period 3 times now. Keep in mind as well, though, that we are putting in higher lows. So like the other side of the coin is you have that key level of resistance that keeps appearing. The other side is that you need to keep aware of the higher lows because it shows that buyers are incrementally overwhelming sellers, and that top at 50 could give way. And that's the reality of the matter. So that's important as well. I think I will take this Amazon long at these levels. Let's go. And I'm going to give it a very tight stop here so I don't get blown out on Amazon. I'm going to give it, maybe 5 or 10 pennies below the whole dollar level right there.
I like that. And hopefully they will deliver you some profits.
Hopefully.
Express deliver, overnight delivery with your Prime membership. I swear we're not sponsored by Prime. I'm just making sense. Promise. But yeah, right now we're getting out of this intel. We dropped a little bit too quickly. And honestly, yeah, we're still up. We still took profits on everything. Please just punch. I just know what I'm like, and I know I have to secure the bag. So I did secure the bag. I should have probably taken everything out there at 20s, but you know what? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. So happy with how this trade went. I think I needed that little boost of confidence there, just saying, hey, you liked the level, you got it on the level, and it wasn't even really a range, so I'm very proud of myself as well. To be fair, there were rangy elements, sure. It kind of looked like a range, but it was also an element of using my interest in ranges, which is just bounce off previous support, taking it into resistance to be able to play what's not a range trade. So I'm proud of myself. This is the type of trading I want to do more of, in all honesty. So SoFi says Thomas Johnson. This is a nice one. I like this. Oh, I just bumped Trenda. Sorry, Trenda.
Aww.
But lots of trending tickers for you today.
Oh, there's plenty.
Lots to keep you busy.
You must be very happy.
Please just punch. But yeah, so SoFi, slightly lower high here. We had that nice move up here into 778s. But right now, we're having a nice move on to lesson of the day.
Welcome. It is the lesson of the day here. Real trading is about making those plays, but you got to get better every single day. And as always, this particular segment of the show brought to you by Alfonso AI. Want to beat the market? Then you need Alfonso's AI-powered stock ratings. Their top picks have surged over 100% since October 2022. Scan the code and get 50% off. Who doesn't like a good deal? Now let's get into some brass tacks here. So, when you got to trade, where does it start? Hey, you always talk about this. You like a stock, you know what's in play, you like a direction, maybe you've got yourself a nice price area, but you still need an execution plan. And to give you an idea of how important an execution plan can be, and I'm not just talking about this is the price that I'm going to buy. It is, how am I getting into the stock? What is the timing of it around that level? Where am I placing my stop once I am in? Where would I re-enter the trade if I like it a second time at the same price area? All of these things matter. Maybe you're tape reading. Maybe you want to see some size. Maybe you don't. But I'm going to show you something that it doesn't always seem believable. I can imagine a situation where over the last month, my best long ideas have all been the same one on NVIDIA. Specific setup at the open into a breakout trade that had been shooting about 85% win rate. Actually 85.7142857. Yeah, 12 for 14. But today, it sets the same thing up and it shoots 0 for 3. But I'm only long. And it's probably the strongest stock of the day. So, you know, when you look at something like this, it's going to happen. You're not going to win in every single trade. But the only thing that I'm concerned with is, okay, the execution plan stunk. The idea to favor the long and look for key entry prices was right. And as a matter of fact, if I look back at it, okay, the early breaks at 40 were no good. The timing wasn't the best on that, but we adhered to our plan and lost. But we actually had the timing right on the top break. There's no question about it. So you've got to come up with what is the execution plan that you were using and how would you want to change it. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater when clearly it worked out pretty much every single level you took it yesterday. I can go back and show you other instances, but it's not necessarily relevant in this case. Because oftentimes the market is going to give you an idea of the type of day it is. Not just in the overall market, but in the stock that you're trading. So when this has worked for me, it's been one time in on the breakout where it sets the false break at the bottom, double top at any key level, break out that top, it works right away with a tight stop and it just goes. Well, if that doesn't work twice in a row, then when it shows up that third time, that's where you can adjust and say, hey, you know what? It's trending in the direction I want. I've got the higher lows. It's showing me that bull flag, but I can't be executing it in the way of a breakout because you know what? The breakout's not working like it was before. So what's the execution plan when the breakout is not your way to go? So the easiest thing to think about in a situation where the breakout doesn't work is what happens when the breakout's not working. Well, it's trying to break the top. It's taking out the closest resistance under, whether it's $1 or underneath, whether it's VWAP, whatever it might be, and then it's holding the previous support level and then just going higher. So one of the ways you can go into it is after it's rinsed people out, you could look for a consolidation break after that. So just get the one after at the same level instead of waiting for the higher. Or how about the way that I think I should have done it? You false break at 845. It wicks down underneath. This is the previous breakout level, 840. It cannot get there. You actually see it hold 842. So now you know the breakout trade through 845 has rinsed. Now you're watching it here, knowing you're not taking the first break. It rinses people out like I was, and then you see it hold. Just go into the long the second time with a wider stop. Now, if you're using a wider stop, if I'm stopping out for $1 or $2 there, and it's going to show you a stop of 3 to 350, remember, yes, you're giving it a wider stop, but that's now a defined level. That's the pullback off the 45 break the first time. So A, it's a defined level, but B, it's got more room because you've already taken out a bunch of longs that have given it up on that break, like I did. So you've actually trapped some people that might have shorted underneath. You've got less people in that long the second time through, and you know you've got some room to work with. So you're giving it a wider stop because the tight stops haven't worked. You're taking it the second time through after some people have been rinsed. And obviously this is a bit of hindsight, but the truth of the matter is if the certain setup doesn't work twice in a row, but the stock is trending in your direction, you're not wrong about the direction. You're just wrong about your execution strategy. So if you're joining that trend, you're going to try something. You can't try nothing. That's just missing out altogether on a move like this. That's not acceptable. The question becomes, how else are you going to do it? So if you're going to go with the breakout, you either give it a wider stop, take it the second time through and look for the false breakout, or wait for some kind of a consolidation dip buy. Now that doesn't come into play until it's above 850. Like this false break in here, there's your consolidation dip buy. You can probably grab 55s into that low. This one you got to be really patient for an execution strategy. But it doesn't really matter what you do. It's just doing something differently. If the trend is good and the stock is right and the direction's right and the price area is right, but you still lose on the trade, it's just your execution strategy. So you just find a different one and try it out. Because the long, or whatever direction you happen to be going that's working, that's the thing that you got right. Or where you want to make a decision is the thing that you got right. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because you went 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 if it's a good stock. But you got to be able to learn from your mistakes. It's never a heck of a lot of fun. I'll tell you right now, to be convicted in a long, be like, that's my biggest loser on the week, was something that I was right on 3 separate times in terms of direction, but we didn't execute right. So find a different execution plan. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're not going to be able to do it because you're so fixated on the patterns of what usually works for you. But after a couple of hits, that's an important thing. And if you can find that after that second chance, especially in the opening rush, you got about 30 minutes in there. This was at 9:45. Like, we weren't even at 10 o'clock. And I'd already gotten 3 entry points to give me some ideas. And if you look at it, it did the same move from the open to 10 o'clock. You could have had that from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So there was plenty of opportunity to sort of reassess and come up with a different execution plan in there. And all you have to do is take the time, analyze what went wrong, how that might have been trapping certain trades in the other direction, and how you can refine your strategy just a tidbit. Because it's not about where I was getting in. It's just about how I was getting in and where I was deciding to get out. Every single entry point was a good buy from a risk to reward standpoint. It was just the execution plan needed to be refined. We talk about this all the time. A trade is more than just a call. You've got to have a stock, a direction, a price entry, a price where you're wrong and you're going to get out, and then you got to take some profits. Every single one of those is important. You get one wrong, and you might have to refine that specific part of the plan, but just that specific part of the plan. That's the lesson of the day. Learn from that mistake, because what a day it could have been if I just made a slight adjustment on my long entries.
Thank you very much, Neil. Eloquent, awesome, and informative as always. The real deal with Neil every day at noon. So shout out to him. Thank you very much. As Neil was dropping hot lines, we did take a beak wetter here on the AMZN trade, Ram, and we moved up into that 179 1/3. And I was looking at the future while we were doing that, and the future's coming down, and so is Amazon. So we're going to keep an eye on this one, as we just had a nice pop into that third of a dollar. We just didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, rejected the 50-point level, but it shouldn't precipitate this big of a down move. Anyway, the whole point is here to look for that 179 defend, as well as the 10 period. It looks like it's coming down now. We may have to take this one out. Kind of disappointed I didn't take out at the third of a dollar, but we'll keep eyes on that. Did Neil read the ad?
I think so.
Okay. Are we good with the ad, guys? Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we'll keep eyes on that. And anything that you were looking at during the break?
No, I mean, I still like Intel. I really like Intel. I was happy with how I executed that first trade, just using levels I like. Now I want the Intel short, but I wasn't able to get filled in that. Now it's falling below. I really want to see what we do with this line I drew. Previous area of resistance coming to support. I love this type of look, so I want to watch what Intel does here. Intel is still a member of the esteemed side chart, which is why it was sitting in the first place. So not something I'm taking my eyes off of. I haven't looked at Roku in a bit either. So yeah, Roku is rangy. Okay, got excited there. Roku is going on the side chart. Move aside, snap. You're getting snapped off this grid, and I'm going to be watching with streaming here on this ROKU chart.
Better get your act together, or you'll find yourself, I'm
Off
talking
the
about
side
stock.
chart.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, nice move back up for the Amazonian. I'm just going to leave this. I put my out already on this. I want to see a 180 touch on Amazon. I'm biased short 180, so I'm going to take this long, hopefully, into 180. And so maybe when I'm done the lesson, it'll have risen to that level. Maybe not, as it's right back down again. All right, let's get to the lesson du jour. We are talking about bull flag trades all week. And today we are going to throw an options element into it. Options spreads, leveraging options for bullish bets on a bull flag. So the bull flag beckons with its promise of rising prices. But what if you could magnify your potential gains while limiting your risk? Option spreads offer an attractive strategy within this bullish pattern. So let's talk a little bit about that. As we do, we're going to define some of these basic concepts for the newer traders or people just joining us. So option spreads, imagine a ladder instead of directly climbing a wall. That's what we're talking about here. Option spreads allow you to take a bullish stance without directly buying a call option, right? They involve combining 2 or more options contracts with different strike prices and or expiration dates to create a defined risk and profit profile. So that is what we are talking about there. And within the context of a bull flag, a bull call spread is a popular strategy for the bull flag. Here is how it works. So step 1, you buy a call option. So you purchase a call option with a specific strike price, let's say 25 bucks. That gives you the right, but not the obligation, to buy the stock at that price by the expiration date. Step 2, you sell a higher strike call option. So you simultaneously sell another call option with a higher strike price. So in the first part was 25. Let's say here it's 27, so $2 difference, and the same or earlier, expiration date. This is called selling the call against your initial call purchase. So that's the mechanics of how this is going to work. I'm keeping my eye on the Amazon as we talk. Sorry, guys. All right, and what's the advantage of doing all this? So number 1, you're limiting your risk. That's the first advantage. Unlike buying a single call option where your losses are basically what you spent on the contract, not unlimited, obviously, like a shorting an equity, but it's what you spent on that entire option contract. Your risk in a bull call spread is actually capped to the difference between the strike prices you bought and sold minus the premium that you paid for the spread. Okay, so that's how you're mechanically limiting your risk. In addition to that, the other advantage is the profit potential. If the stock price rises above the higher strike price, which is the sold call, the 27 in our example, by the expiration date, you can potentially profit from the difference between the lower strike price of 25, which is the bought call, and the purchase price. So that's how mechanically it works. By way of example, I just want to show this example. Go Amazon. Yes. Hold on, I have to take profits here.
Yep.
Yes.
Do your thing. Oh my God.
Amazon.
That's amazing.
That's a good trade.
Congrats.
Thank you. All right, so here's by way of example, guys. Okay? So imagine a stock is trading at 23 bucks and forms a bull flag. You believe the price will continue to rise, right? And that's the bias we have when we see a bull flag. It's a continuation pattern. So we're looking for the price to break out of that consolidation part of the flag and continue to go up. So by default, typically when we see a bull flag, we're looking bullish. That's why we believe the price will continue to rise. Okay? You execute a buy call spread by, number 1, buying a call option with a strike price of $25 for a premium of $2. Obviously, the premium changes depending on volatility. And then simultaneously, can I show this, Raymond? Because it just has it written there. You sell a call option with a strike price of $27 for a lesser premium. So you have a premium here of $3. Your maximum risk is limited to 27 minus 25 minus 1, which is the premium difference equals $1. That's not how it's going to work in real life, but that's just to kind of give you the idea there. All right, and your maximum gain and loss, thank you, Adair, for adding this in, by the way. So to calculate your maximum gain and loss for your bull call spread in order to understand your potential risk and reward of your trade, you need to be able to do that. So what's the maximum gain here? Your maximum gain is you're going to subtract your lower strike price, the $25, from the higher strike price, then subtract your premium as we just explained, but you multiply that number by the amount of shares in the contract. Typically, there's about 100 shares per contract to figure out your maximum gain, and that's what we're talking about here. So you have to multiply it by the amount of shares that you will have per contract. So if you have 3 contracts, typically 300 shares. Your maximum loss as well, important to calculate that. Take the cost of the purchase call option and subtract the premium received from the sold call option. Then multiply that number, which is the net premium, by the amount of shares in the contract to figure out your maximum loss. And by the way, I should have mentioned, if you sell a call option, you have to own the equity, okay? And so to summarize, use the difference between the strike prices as the basis of your max gain calculation and the difference between the option costs for your max loss. And so it sounds like a fantastic setup, but there's plenty that could go wrong here. Let's call a spade, right? You need to understand options before you get into this. So spreads require a good understanding of options mechanics and the Greeks. You need to apprise yourself of the Greeks like the betas, the deltas, the gammas before you get into this type of trade. And this is a more advanced type of trade. And you need to understand expiration dates, right? Choose an expiration date that aligns with your trading time frame for the bull flag pattern. You hear the NOS boss talk about his swing trades. He doesn't really do it through options, but he has a time frame from which he's working. Sometimes he's looking 3 months out, sometimes he's looking 3 weeks. You need to figure out what's going to work for your time frame. And the volatility, very important here as well. Options premiums are sensitive to volatility. So if the stock or the equity that you're trying to get into is awfully volatile, you're likely going to pony up more for the premium, and that's going to eat into your profits. So you need to keep that in mind as well. And a bonus tip, explore different spread variations like bull put spreads for a more complex but potentially income generating strategy within the bull flag. I hope that helps, guys. And it looks like I sold Amazon way too soon as it popped up there into $0.75. I'm happy with this trade. I'm still salivating at a 180 short. Let's see if it makes its way up there.
Congrats on that trade. Killing it there. Getting those profits express delivered, 2-day shipping, what have you. Nice look on that. I got into this TQQs. I did briefly take a SOX L. I don't even remember if it was long or short. That's how much it is a Friday. Okay, so I was long. We were holding that area decently. I thought we could push. We did it. It might be a short right now, but I'm probably going to stay away from SOX L. For the time being, I am not, though, staying away from the TQs. Let's look at these and see what they're up to. Where is my NASDAQ? There's my NASDAQ. Okay, I shouldn't have clapped. It's not anything exciting. We're basically flat on this trade. I like this. So the one thing I want to clarify this, I want to make this huge caveat before I say anything else. I am aware that the candle at which I got short and some previous candles are very bullish looking. I want to clarify that. We had that bounce off the support area around 55.25, right? However, the reason I got long is because we had that little short is we had that little slump to the downside, right? We're really struggling getting off the schneid, as you and Neil say, at 40s. On the Qs, this is going to be that 431.20 level, right? Look at this. To me, this is not an incredibly bullish look. And I mean, it might be, that's cool. I am willing to get out. If we break above into that 50s, like we're going to risk like 13 pennies. But I really want this movement. I'm comfortable with this trade, and I just want to explain. I do see that those bullish candles do exist, but I did want to clarify as well. As Sharif sometimes says, you know, one candle is not the reason to get into a trade. Right? In my case, a few candles aren't a reason for me to not get in. I want to put that out there, but I am understanding the risks. Terra Engineering, thank you for saying this. Please educate people on the possibility of getting options exercised after the market is closed. This can and has cost people their entire portfolio. So thank you so much, Terra Engineering, for saying that. Be careful about getting your options exercised after the market is closed. That makes sense, right? Post-market movements can.
Well, yeah, I don't think you can trade options after the Katina, man. You can't trade options after the bell. Yeah, not pre-market, not after the bell either. So yeah, that is an absolute risk for sure. You need to make sure that you are managing your positions when you're able to manage them. So thank you for mentioning that. No question about it. All right, guys, we're awfully close here on the Amazonian to that level that I like. I've been looking at 180. You're not going to see me have a resting short at that level. I just won't do it because Amazon's up 3.5%. So it's obviously very strong on the day, and I'm not going to stand in front of this freight train, but I will absolutely be watching it like a hawk if and when it makes its way up to 180 to see what kind of selling. And it's not just watching the chart, guys. You got to watch the book. You got to have level 2 to see if there's big resistance above 180 or at 180 to see, you know, if buyers could have trouble continuing to push the price up. And you also need to be looking at the bid on the book, excuse me. You need to be looking here. Are there any huge orders moving up with the price? Because that huge order, as it comes up with the price, could prevent the shorts from moving it back down. So you got to have one eye on the chart and the other on both the book and the tape. So it's a bit of a challenge, and hence day trading is a tough endeavor. Anyway, 179.86 HOD right now on AMZN. We did have a higher print there in the pre. Both prints on the pre there got into 180.01, 180.05 max, and that was pushed back down. You can see there when we had that big boy move up yesterday in the aftermarket vis-a-vis the earnings reports of Google and Microsoft, we pumped too nicely here on the Amazonian, and as high as we could get there was 181.80. Alas, that is an algo pump though. It did close at 181. And then what did we do here? We actually in the aftermarket yesterday we kind of topped out, and where do we end up closing in the aftermarket? 179.02. So yeah, I still believe 180 is a resistance level. It may not, be exactly to the penny, but I will be looking at that. Now, another trade here is the dead one, Apple. Wow, off the top, 171 and a third, and now we are talking about a 170 touch right now on AAPL. Look, that IB low ended up holding the 200 EMA on the 5. Don't know why, don't care. Yesterday's closing print on Apple, 169.90. Where is the 200 EMA right now, which is the solid blue line on my chart? 170. What's 170? Obviously the $10 level. We're 8 pennies away from it right now on Apple. Do we hold up here at 170 on Apple? Is this a dip trade? We're barely positive on the day, up 0.13. So I'm going to be watching Apple here at 170 as it makes its way down. Look, I said to Brendo this morning, we closed below 170 on Apple yesterday. Did we? Yes, we did. 169.80. I thought that was by design because 170, in my opinion, is a key area of resistance on the daily. Once we gave up the ghost at 170, I don't want to see it being taken in the pre-market. I need to see a closing print above 170. I think the fact that we closed below it was indicative of something. So I'm going to be watching here. 170, it may not hold up because it is an area of resistance, so we could absolutely break it. So I'm going to be watching Apple in the same way that I'm going to be watching AMZN at 180.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's certainly, those are both really key areas. And honestly, when you're talking about the dead one, I was like, the future right now is kind of the dead one. Now I realize when you talk about the Wick Shimmy Dance, because oh my goodness, were the Qs doing that Wick Shimmy Dance. Let me pull this up. I'm in the TQs, I'm feeling it personally. Look at the Qs doing this Wick Shimmy Dance here at this 431.
Holy cow.
This is a 5-minute chart, Sharif. This is a 5-minute chart. Just hanging out, chilling out, moving, a few pennies at a time, at least on the TQs. I'm still saying short this. I still like this look. We're just waiting for it to come in. I'm interested in minimum that 55.20 area. I want all the smoke. I also appreciate, I know earlier I was saying I was kind of waffly. Like I said, I like the entry, but I'm not sure about those candles, but I wanted to get in. And I appreciate 1320 Wolf saying, trust your instincts. That is one thing I'm working on. And I think sometimes, and this might sound like kind of circular logic, but I want to explain, sometimes you don't realize what your instincts are until you kind of practice using them and say, hey, did this work? Did it not work? And so you can only trust them once you understand, once you guys are working together. It sounds like I'm doing relationship counseling, but it's really just me working on my trading instincts. And I think the only way to really hone those is to try using them and to take these trades and get ready to get going. So that is my TQ trade. I do not like this big wick to the downside, but I have no reason to leave right now. I'm trying to stay calm, cool, collected, the 3 C's in the TQQs. Also, thank you guys in the chats, people saying that actually, so options, you can trade some of the index options until 4:15. So those you can actually trade aftermarket until 4:15, some people are saying in the chat. But other than that, that's when it gets cut off. So 4:15 for certain index options. Thank you guys so much for sharing your options knowledge with all of us. It is always much appreciated, and I think that's one of the benefits of having this community is people come from different backgrounds with different types of trades they're looking at with different styles. So much appreciated there. Also, GME. Some people were mentioning this one in the chat, so I want to give this one a look. Oh, the fun does not stop in GameStop. Wow. Wow, look at this $12 level. Wow. I mean, knowing GameStop, it doesn't really have to have a
No, not really.
Let's see if it does, though. It's up 7%. Insider selling.
I see that too.
Insider selling, bringing this to the upside.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's really the reason. That's the only entry I have from today.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
That's all I'm seeing too. Insider selling, PFO and PAO. selling shares. Oh, he only made 79,000. This is a very small insider sell. He made less than 80K on his shares. But yeah, that's a scintilla of shares. But I mean, we know this one is usually pretty active on certain online communities. Lots of people are all aflutter on Twitter over this. And also, I want to talk about this $12 level briefly. Look at that chop and turn we had at 12. Burst up. Look, we have this wick there bouncing off the 12, coming back up. So I think if we get back into 12s, I might actually look at GameStop, which is not what I normally trade. But if I I do not discriminate against stocks. If it has levels I like and a price I'm comfortable spending, I will get involved. So GameStop, I'm not kicking anybody else off my side chart for you, but I'm going to keep you in my mind. So thank you, people in the chat, for mentioning GME, which actually is probably the place to be if you're long.
All right, long Apple. Let's see what we do here at 170. Stop is already in place. I'm going to give this 10 to 12 pennies. It has to hold my general area of 170. I mean, it could dip into the 90s, but I don't want to see it in the 80s. So if we get stopped out, we get stopped out. We're trying something here. Oh, I should mention that 169.88 technically is the closing print. So 170 may or may not mean anything here. It is the whole dollar level, the $10 level, hence why I look to defend it. But the closing print, I want to remind you, bless you, Katina, man, 169.88 closing print yesterday on AAPL. Come what may, the entries, bless you again, are in, and we'll see what we get. All right, Amazon is 10 pennies. Now, the high of Amazon is 10 pennies away from that 180 level. So watching that, we did get this hammer candle here, man. I thought we were going to end up rejecting that previous top at 179.86. We got right there, and then we tanked right back down to the 10, but we got bought up as quickly as we tanked. And we printed a new 5-minute candle to make a new high. 179.92 is Amazon right now, 180 incoming. I'm not going to be sitting there again, like I said, at the on a resting order. I need to see how it trades there and to see if I'm going to get blown out or not, right? Because, well, quite frankly, Amazon is up 3 2/3% today. It didn't report earnings, guys. Other companies reported earnings, and it's pumping here. So has me concerned about wanting to take a very strong stock like this short on a resting order. So we'll continue to watch what happens here with the Amazonian. 97's now the high on Amazon, so 3 pennies away from 180. Apple trying to hold 170. We'll see how that ends up going, excuse me. And the other one that's kind of changing its tune, now I don't want to call this too quickly, is goggles. What happened here is at 11:55, we did break the 50 period, but it was a quick wick and then see ya. We went right back down and closed below VWAP. We held that level though at the $0.50, 171.5 held, and now we're at 172.5. Let's see if this candle can close this way, because it couldn't last time, right? And we're also not through that top. The top of this topping tail candle here is 65 pennies. So we'll see exactly what we're able to get here with Google breaking through the 50. And I did see somebody astutely point out in the chat that Google did look like it was going to break. And we talked about this was a fake out likely over here, right? You know, sometimes the first one is a fake out. The second one could be the real thing. We're using VWAP all morning as a level of resistance, but what we were doing simultaneously while rejecting off VWAP is putting incrementally higher lows. That is an ascending triangle, and sometimes it results in a flat top break. So we shall see what happens here with goggles as it breaks through the 50 period. Things that Meta hasn't been able to do, nor Softy, is break through that 50 period on the 5 today. It's been a decent level to short some of these, Google included. But now Google kind of changing its tune. The Fuge also, while I was talking, did curl right back up. It's been knocking on the door of 17.9. Hasn't been, you know, that close to it. 17.886 1/4 is the high a day. But if we keep going this way, this looks awfully bull flaggish. Not that we really chart patterns on the Fuge, but we could see 17.9 today. If we see 17.9, we're likely going to pump an NVIDIA and a lot of these other needs. Okay, Amazon now has hit 180, 180.09 HOD on Amazon. That's why I didn't want to get short with a resting order. Let's see what happens here, Adair.
Yeah, I was just telling Paula Blackford in the chat that I will look at AMD for her because she says, can you guys look at AMD and give some feedback? Any chance for a short off 158? I think this is a fascinating chart, as I said to Paula Blackford in the chat there. But here's the thing, AMD, if you zoom out, kind of looks a bit bull flaggish to me. We had that big move up here. Look at that flagpole. Then we had higher, look at sort of a flat top, but either way, mostly higher lows here. We're also curling off that 9 EMA. So I have to be honest with you, Paula Blackford, I would need a little bit more confluence that this one's heading to the downside before getting involved in the short. I see why you like the 158 level, because that was certainly an interesting level. We had a beautiful, tight little range there right at the start of how to trade around 11. But right now, we're still holding that 9 EMA really nicely, and these wicks to the downside with every higher low show me that buyers are in control. So I'm going to be really honest with you here. To me, this still looks bullish for now for AMD. That's my take on that. I just, to be straight up. But I think if we do curl down here below that 9 EMA, could be interesting. Not advice, just my take on the chart. For me, though, I would probably need to see a decisively lower low to show a change in direction, because this is a very strong uptrend in AMD. And I think it could AM destroy shorts. So I would just say definitely be cautious there with AMD. I hope that helps, and I hope those reasons make sense as to why I would say exercise a skosh of caution. But yeah, right now, you know, I lost that TQ short, but I'm so proud of myself for how I managed this. I said I was a little cautious about being a long. I said that from the get. I was like, this could be a little bit dicey, but I like the look. I want to try. I want to get involved. Then we kind of flipped a little bit here, and we got into my area that I wanted to get out, 48s. We cut it loose. It went back to the upside without me, and that's okay. I'm pleased as punch with this. It was a losing trade, but I learned from it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm trying to learn from each trade, even if it doesn't work out. And I think one thing that Neil said as well that I agree with is sometimes it's not about the idea being an issue, it's about the execution. And I've had that where I've had some scalps where I would literally earlier today saw sell 1 penny away from getting my out. You know what I mean? It's frustrating, but that shows you, hey, sometimes you have to be tighter, you have to be scalpier, and you have to listen to what these markets tell you. So even though that was a losing trade, it was not an L in terms of the lessons. Or the L in this case stands for lessons.
Hey,
lessons learned.
I like that. Okay.
Thank you, Dandelion. Much appreciated. Just trying to get a little bit of growth here with every trade. You know what? I don't even know why I'm thinking about this, but some people earlier were mentioning Palantir. Okay. So I want to look at Palantir because that's an AI name. Yeah, this is interesting. We kind of dip below VWAP. I want to see if we bounce off VWAP. Not much of a read for me, though. You know, guys, everyone knows I prefer my ranges and my clear levels. Palantir is not being super Palan-clear right now, so I'm going to probably have to steer clear of Palan-clear. Palantir, I forgot his name. How are you doing?
I love it. We're 5 pennies out of the money on Apple. I'm watching here if we hold 170 or not. The other trade that I'm watching is Amazon, because we were yapping all morning about a 180 short, and well, we got up into 180 in a fifth. So that 180.20 level is 19 technically, is the high of day right now. Coming off that level though, again, you know, I really didn't expect 180 exactly to hold, hence why I didn't have a resting order. So let's watch, see if we give up the ghost at 180. If we do, I'm gonna get short, simple as that. It is a level of resistance on the daily. There is just no doubt in my mind about that. We did the charting yesterday, so we'll see if we get that today. We're short now on Amazon. Looks like we're going to get stopped out on Apple here, which is fine as it's coming right back down into the lows. So we'll see exactly what we get here. I'm going to give this one the old college try. I'm talking about you, Amazon. We'll look to get out if that high at 19 breaks. I mean, there's really not much else I can do. There's really, well, let's see over here. This is the level that we topped out at, 19s. 19 also is not the institutional level print. This is 830. So where'd that go up to, 20 or 19? It went up to 21. So yeah, okay, we can give it to around 21s to see if it'll break that level. I'm just gonna send it to you while I put my stop.
Yeah, I mean, I love being sent on 21 because we know as a fan of 21 Savage, I enjoyed that. So we're doing our thing 21. I'm proud of this. We flipped long Qs on that 9 EMA bounce. That was my exit for the short, so I wanted to be my entry for the long. We're taking this into 60s. That is it. No, thank you, sir. No, ma'am. Nothing beyond 60s. That didn't make a little sense, but that's okay. I'm trying to take my 10 pennies, risking into 40s, so risking about 7 pennies. That is a risk-reward ratio. Risk to reward ratio I can more than live with. So let's try to get this bread over here on the TQs. I would be definitely pleased as punch. Thank you so much, Bears vs. Bulls, pointing this out. Chat has been full of compliments. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
I am really appreciate it. I'm always so happy to be here, and I love this community and that I get to be a part of it. Hopefully, I love the TQs here as well. How
I
are you
like
doing?
that. Yes, you got to throw in that juju, that good juju in there. Okay, so we put our stops out on everything. The stop is out on Apple. It's out on Amazon. We'll watch what we get here. There's not much left for me to do other than basically watch how the price manifests. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. That is the nature of the beast. Now let's go back to AAPL because that's the other trade that we're nursing here. And oh wow, okay, so we're back in the money on Apple. I was almost certain I would get stopped out. We'll see if we get a beak wetter at 15s. That's where I put my first beak wetter there. There's the red line denoting that. So the market, I want to say the market looks strong. I mean, we're not at highs, but we're awfully close to highs. So yeah, it's not like really the market's moving with any one of these. Well, I think the market's probably a lot more in tune with how Amazon is moving than with how Apple is moving. Like we've been saying, the NQ and the NVIDIA have had a great degree of overlap with respect to how their charts have looked as of late. You know, that wasn't always the case. It was kind of like, you know, the bigger names that move these markets, the Microsofts, the Apples, the Googles. But, you know, the last few months or so, it's been NVIDIA, and there's been definitely a lot of overlap between their chart patterns. So looking for that print on AAPL. If we're able to get to 15s, it'll get me out for some there. But the trade I am concerned with is Amazon breaking north on that 180 level. There it popped up again into 15. So for breaks 22s, that's going to be the end of my trade, which is fine. Let's see what else is moving. Small cappers, I believe there were some good ones. So let's have a look here. SBFM continues to give you opportunities off that volume weighted average price level, which is just a skosh above the $1 level. So it is holding $1 here, and there is a trade to be had with some of these small cap gappers reclaiming $1. Neil was the one that pointed out the fact that I should adjust my scanner from having a minimum value of $1 into 85 pennies. Reason being is you want to get early notice of the ones that are making their way up to $1 because there's a trade to be had there either as a rejection or as a claiming of $1. So that's why I've done that, and that's why I'm mentioning the $1 level, because there is an important trade sometimes to be had at this level. So anyway, SBFM continuing to give you dips off the volume weighted average price. We'll have to see if that continues in the afternoon. So I did get stopped out of the soft one there, off the Amazonian, as it did pop into 27. So we'll take the L there, and that's just the way it is. So we're going to cancel this dip trade over here. How are we doing on Apple? Nice. So we did well on Apple there. We got the beak wetter at 15s. We lose on one, we make on another. Let's see what we get.
This is another situation where we got a penny shy of where I wanted to get out. I have no reason to leave yet, though. We're all smiles. I moved my out 1 penny lower, trying to take a quick 10 cents dime club over here in my TQs. So let's see what happens. I know this one I could hold for the high of day break, and we did do that yesterday with the TQs. But the difference, I think, with that trade was that it was a planned high of day break trade. This was me trying to play the range. Please just punch. We took the 10 pennies. Happy there. Thank you, TQs. Let's keep it going. Honestly, if these give another dip, I'll get in, and maybe that'll be a high daybreak trade. But I think right then I just needed a trade that I felt comfortable in and that I felt that I could execute. So that was my TQ trade. Yes, a 10-cent trade, and I am honestly pleased as punch about it, because I find if I try to hold these things for longer, that's where things get dicey for me in my trades. I'm happy with the scalp. And mind you, I'm comfortable trying as I get more comfortable to hold things longer. But I think because my brain sees entry points in terms of scalps, I think it makes the most sense to execute some of these trades as scalps. So there we go. That is my TQs. NVIDIA looking mighty fine over here. This is also a nice look, bouncing off this 90 MA. Had a bit of a rejection here, though. Got into new high of day, struggling with this 875. This could get very spicy. This is a bull flag, I would say, as well. And I love this little candle bid at 866. Wick down into that previous support at 862. Come right back up. Continue to fly to the upside. Just in time, mentioning DJT, I just wrote DJRT, which is not the stock's name. Oh, this is a nice look. Bouncing off that 90 MA. This is interesting, though. I would be very cognizant of that 4280. That being said, you know, we kind of wick in both directions, right? But this is a bit of a bearish vibe again at 43. High of day 43.02. We wick up in there, then struggle. Now we're seeing a little bit of a lower candle. So I want to really see what we do on this DJT because I think this could be a bit of a spicy time on this stock. Nice bounce off that 9 EMA though. And I think if we have another kind of candle to eclipse what just happened there, plus with these wicks down into the 9 EMA, this could be a little bit long. I've noticed too with DJT sometimes, what it'll do is it'll get near a level, it'll just compress for a good while, and then it'll push above. So I'm not saying it's not gonna go higher. I'm just saying be cognizant of that, our first failure at 43 with that wick to the upside. But I mean, noticing how this one will kind of consolidate and then break up, that could very well be what's happening here today. Not anticipating, just participating and looking for more trades to participate in because right now we're out of the TQs, pleased as punch, and looking for more.
Man, Amazon just keeps headed to the high side here. 180 who?
180 who?
Yeah, like it's on the way up, guys. 180.30 HOD. So we were wrong on that trade. That's all right. What is the next trade as the one that can likes to say we're still doing well on our Apple trade. We're nicely in the money on this one, 20 pennies or so. I'm going to be looking to take everything out at the volume weighted average price on Apple. That is hanging out at the $0.50. So if we're able to make it up into 170.50-ish area around right here on Apple, I'll be looking to get out. Yeah, I like it when you do it like brr, like brr. I was about to ask you, because earlier you said you were singing, I think a song? No, you were singing something.
I'm always singing.
And yeah, you said, I like that. Do you remember that, Houston? I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Where the money at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Neil knows exactly what I'm talking about. You know, Houston, I like that. I like that. Where the money
Neil's
at.
comment in the chat.
What'd he
Go,
say?
Baba. It's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday. We're going to tap you up like it's your birthday. And you know 75 will hit because it's your birthday.
Wow, bro.
Bobby in the trade.
You went off there, Neil.
We'll hold. Sorry, 75 will hold. 'cause it's your-
Okay. I love it. I love it.
I
Good
enjoyed that.
vibes, baby. I love being on this trading floor. No doubt about it. Chingy. Sorry, I thought it was Houston. Was that Chingy? Mr.
No, Chingy was like their, like
Thur is
yeah.
Chingy. Yeah. No, but Houston was, yeah, like Thur. He's in jail now, though. I think he went down for murder 1. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went down for murder 1. Let's find out. Because this is what we do on the trading floor. Chingy, jail. Let's see.
What?
No, I don't think no, I'm thinking about somebody else. Maybe I'm thinking about somebody else, yeah. All good. All right, let's get back to work, baby. Because Amazon's on the way up here, Dara. 180.40, we're going to get into 180.38. Ram is now the high of the day. But, you know, I'm not going to be taking a trade at these highs. So if Amazon wants to hold 180, I'll use it as support. That's fine. It'll have to come back to it. But this is the trade that I want to alert you guys about. It wasn't once. It wasn't twice. It wasn't even Obi thrice. It was 4, and now we've had a 5th attempt at the 50 period on Meta. Does this one break? Because 440.5, or in this case, 440.25, now as the 50 has come down a little bit, has been a resistance level. It's been below the 50 period all morning. I mean, I really should be getting short here. Do I have a Meta trading screen up? We're gonna have to load this one as Meta. Let's load up that bad boy. And yeah, right there it goes. So what is the trade here? All right, I'm going short Meta here, Adara. So I'll just send it to you. I'll put my stops.
Yeah, go short. Get the Zuckerberg money there. Yeah, I thought a pun would come to me. It hasn't yet. Good Luckerberg.
Thank you.
Good Luckerberg. Best of Luckerberg in that trade. Also, yes, so Mr. Love Shack saying it was Houston and Chingy.
Oh, got
so
it.
There you go.
Okay, gotcha.
So thank you for that. Also, Jay Lee saying, asking if we're sad for not going long NVIDIA at the open. I don't trade on the open, and I wouldn't have held it. I'll be really real, but you are right. That's a great long. 838 all the way up into currently, well, the highest that we got here was like this just shy of 875. So that's a really nice look. Congrats to anybody who took that. Nice look at, not the type of trade that I would have taken, to be quite honest, even if I had, if I traded in the morning. But shout out to anybody who had that, because it's a great look. Also, I forget who this was. This woman earlier today mentioning Affirm and PayPal as two potential trades, because I was saying, hey, I'm looking for something for my side chart. And somebody said Affirm, and I love this look. I like the higher lows and the flat top. I'm not saying we'll flat top break, but it's something that I'm okay with taking the range until I see what I like, right? I'm going to get out part of this position at around 40, let's do 43s. And then we're going to save a third of this. We'll do 42s. We're going to save a third for the dream there, because I want to see what continues to unfold. I also have no problem reloading this if it ends up just being a range. Why am I saying just a range? I love ranges. Let's bring on a range if that's what happens. But let me see if I want to see if I miss any super chats here. I just saw a new one. Dandelion said, I threw the baby out with the bathwater. $2 super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. What's your read on INTC, says Arcan. This one just coming in. This was a $1.99 super chat. Yeah, I'd love to take this one if I can, because I was trading Intel earlier and I have some levels in mind. Now, Intel, to me, the level that was the most interesting was this 3186. Of course, the top here is going to be this 3223. I traded into this. We got a part of the position, then we fell lower. But regards to my read on this chart, I think for whatever reason, this level, Intel does not want to break above. That 3220 hold is intense. It's stuck like glue over here. Then I thought we might come and rest a little bit at that 3180, because that was such a clear pop earlier. Not at all. Right now, to me, Intel's just kind of a short the pop into the 9 EMA type look. I'm going to be really honest. However, look at where we're starting to see a bit of support. That's right. That's that earlier resistance level at 3146. We're about 10 pennies away from seeing if this truly holds. But right now, it looks like Intel could be picking up steam a little bit near VWAP and near that previous area of resistance. That's my read on Intel. Arcan. I hope that helps, and thank you very much for the super chat. Also, Affirm. I am pleased to confirm that Affirm is right now holding firm at above my level of entry. So let's firm up some profits. There we go.
All right, nicely in the money here on Meta. Got right back into this to defend that 50 period. Wet my beak on some profits to avenge the previous trade. About, where am I at now? Wow, come on down into 69s, baby. We're short 35s. 440.35, it's printing 76s. I'm waiting at 69s. If we can get into that level, I'll cover the remaining short there on Meta. We're holding up here at 76s. Thank you, Katina, man, for that. I appreciate your support, my man. Always good vibes, Katina, baby. Everybody knows the name around here. All right, keeping an eye on these other trades. Goggles did reject, again, the 50 period, even though it did have that break and the bamboozlement was real. I mean, you can't expect these levels to hold to the penny. And in this case, you got up into 172.5 and you dipped down into 171.75. So the range is getting a lot tighter here on Google. Unsure what to make of that. And bang, we get the 69 fill. Pleased as punch about that. So we take that short on Meta on the 50 period again there, and it was now 5 times, guys. Once, twice, Obi thrice. We don't know what 4 means, but this is 5 right here. We don't know what 4. We tried earlier, couldn't get it. Ram said there's no word like that. So anyway, another rejected. Well, you said there was no like 4 like thrice, right?
I love for me is what I
We wanted an ICE word, Katina, man. But yeah, you're right. Quadrice. Yeah, we can make one up. I mean, yeah. I'm hearing a lot of different suggestions from the side over here. So happy about this trade. Say that again, Ram. Thrice, because it's 4. Thrice. Wow. Thrice. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't mind it either. People have no idea what we're saying, but we'll just say it.
Yeah, thrice.
Yeah. So pleased with this trade. Let's see exactly what kind of move down we get on Meta. And the reason I talk about looking at the move down now that I've covered is because we could take this up. It's a bit of a range. It may be a tilted range, but a range nonetheless, a range with lower highs. But this this bottom here at 437 to about 437.5, that's held up twice. So if we have a deeper retracement like these two outliers over here, I'll be looking long Meta. I'm not gonna lie. I'll obviously have one eye on the future to see if we're gonna tank, but because you don't want to be against that beast. But the Amazonian knows no top at the moment, man. 4% of the good. This thing didn't report. It doesn't have a headline. It doesn't have a headline, right?
Amazon, not that we can find.
No, right? I mean, I looked this morning. There was really nothing. This thing is pamping. I think. Go ahead, Katina, man. Thank you. Good point. So the Katina man astutely pointed out that Azure absolutely blew away earnings, and so the idea here is if they're doing well, then AWS likely will do well. And you mentioned that as well. Google absolutely killed it with Google Cloud. They both did very well on cloud spending. So I'm assuming the implication here for Amazon is, well, AWS must be doing as well because they're the big kahuna. So. Not those big kahunas, obviously. Anyway, man, uninterrupted to the north side now. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call this a candle. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles in a row here to the upside. 181 coming on Amazon. What a move today for the Amazonian. It is the best looking, I would say, chart here. Obviously, NVIDIA up about 6%, but that is the monster. So we don't, you know. One other thing before I send it to Adara, this 170 level on Apple is holding. It's dead at these levels, but it's holding. And the wick shimmy dance kind of shows you that there are buyers below that 170 area into yesterday's closing print at 169.88. For whatever reason, someone's picking up Apple here at 170. So we're long 170.05. We'll continue to hold this and see if we can make it back into the volume weighted average price at the $0.50.
Thank you for that, Sharif. It is, I can't believe it's already 1 p.m.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so we're going to do the lesson of the day, or not Neil's lesson of the day, but our lesson soon. But I do want to look at Boeing for everyone, because people are mentioning that Boeing is indeed going. And I cannot find a reason for this. I also am not seeing a lot of volume with this move. So we had a mild volume spike, but that's like, what is that, like 1.5 mil shares? It's not really comparative to some of the other volume we've had, right? It's only comparatively large. The volume itself, though, not super huge. So, sorry, not even, that's like 100,000. I'm trying to read this volume. Anyways, not the point. The point is, we had that move up here. We flew to the upside with a viciousness. Very little turbulence on those candles, but they're not seeing a catalyst. And then we had that kind of bearish wick up into 168.20, then closing here at 167.9. So we basically erased like 30 pennies of gains in this 1 5-minute candle. This is an interesting little look here. I want to see what we do on Boeing. Baba Black Sheep, have you any longs or shorts? We're gonna have to wait and find out. I guess that works better with Baba, but Boeing, I mean also BA. So let's see what happens here. I think it'd be interesting if we rest and find support at that 167.50. And I say that because that was that nice little spike we got around 10.10. I think that'd be a nice little area to see what happens there. Also, Affirm. Okay, I started getting excited there. I'm gonna talk about Affirm in case that little dance wasn't like a key. I would like to discuss it. So, I will say I was getting a little bit skittish here. I got involved with the 90 MA because I like these higher highs with the flat top. Then I saw this extremely bearish candle, and I said, I was at the Scooby-Doo sound. I was like, oh, we'll have to see what happens. But I didn't want to get out just yet. I said, I don't really have a reason to leave. I was going to give it about like 8 pennies here. So I said to Dara, just wait, breathe, see what the chart gives you. We had that nice little spike, but I think maybe I was a little bit too ambitious with my out here at 42s. We might not get 42s. I'm okay keeping it here for now in terms of my exit, but I just would like to see Affirm be a little bit more assertive. Be like, hey, I want 40s. I want my flat top break. Like Affirm, you got to be a little bit more, you got to be a little more assertive in this move to the upside.
Come on, bro.
Come on, right? Like, get it going. How are you doing?
Good. I'm still watching Amazon. I mean, I can't get Amazon out of my mind. That 180 break absolutely bamboozled me. And that's why you shouldn't like put too much, I guess, weight into the levels that you put. I mean, if the levels they hold, they hold. If they don't, they don't. Right? I mean, don't. What I'm trying to say is trying to convince myself not to take it so personally here. But anyway, I see a topping tail candle maybe forming. This is premature to make this call, but this is the current candle on Amazon. It is still green, but it looks topping tailish. I'm not taking any trade off one candle. I need to see a couple of more, and then maybe we'll look for something here. But I was just confident that 180 would hold as a level. All right, what else is happening? Wow, yep. So 5 times now Meta has rejected the 50 period. Now it's about to break 439. But guys, the range is getting tighter on Meta. So even though we're getting progressively lower highs because the 50 period is sloping down, the lows are incrementally a little bit higher than the previous low. So like we were talking about, the possibility of a flat top break could be brewing here in the same way that it could be brewing on goggles, right? Look at goggles right back into the 50 period again at 172.25. So there's decisions here to be made. Okay, another thing I want to point out is that this top here on Tesla is very interesting. This 172 area. There seems to be a lot of short sellers instituting their short position around 172. So we had resistance at 172 earlier on Tesla, and then we got back to it off that 170.25 hold. That was yesterday's closing print. That was a good trade in of itself. But look at this now. Now we're doing the wick shimmy dance from the south side of 172, and we're starting to put like that rounded top where we're putting incrementally lower highs on the topping tail candles. So this could be a possible short coming in here on Tesla, back maybe into 170. That gives you $1.50 of profit targets. So Tesla could also be an interesting short at these levels. I don't know why I'm so short obsessed today, but whatever, who cares? Anyway, keeping an eye. Yes, the Katia man was bearish all week, essentially. You were, yeah. He's short right now. Can we update the people? Meta 440 short. 440.65 short. The Katina man short, Tesla here 172. So he sees what I see on this one. I agree with the Katina man on this one. Shout out to him. Hope he prints, obviously, a Dara.
Yeah, so shout out there. Sean short. It's alliteration, so you know it's perfect there. Short Sean. Sean is short. Shout out to Sean. Also, Google. Zach Frack was mentioning Google, my thoughts on Google, and I have thoughts on Google, so I'd like to share them. My main thing I'm seeing here is there is something in the water at 172.30. I know Sharif just talked about 172 on Tesla, but 172 in Google is like, hi, I exist too. Let me talk about like Adara. You guys can't just ignore me because I'm not Tesla. So I'm sorry, Google. I apologize. We'll talk about you as well. Look at that little, this is an interesting area. So we kind of come into that. This was right at the open 940. Bounce, come back up into 173. Fall down a little bit here to 170s. Then we see higher highs, higher lows until we get to 172.40, at which case we form a flattish top with slightly higher lows. I don't want to say flat top break because this is not the highest point we've been at the day. In fact, we actually had to move down and then consolidated. However, the fact that this consolidation top is forming at previous resistance makes things really spicy. I think whatever way this goes, I think at some point this blows up in one direction, and I think it could blow up to the upside, just given how strong this resistance or the support was earlier and how strong the resistance is now. That is my take on Google. I don't think you have to Google search for any levels there. Also, I'm still in a firm. There's nothing to talk about there. Yeah. I'm going to stay in a firm, though, actually, while I do the lesson, which normally I don't do, but a firm is kind of chilling.
I agree with you.
I have 8 open on the side chart, so if I need to act, I will act. But right now, we're going to act on this options lesson, which for some reason I'm always at the end of the PowerPoint.
Just hold, yeah, there.
Here we go. Oh yeah, I could have just held the buttons.
It's all good, it's all good.
So let's talk about option spreads, because as we talked about this week, the bull flag will beckon, be like, hi, come over here, trade me, go long, we can do this together. It gives you these promises of rising prices, but what if you could magnify what it's promising you with the potential gains while limiting your risk? And that's what you can get if you get option spreads. They offer an attractive strategy to play with this bullish pattern. So what are option spreads? Imagine you've got a ladder instead of directly climbing a wall. So you have little rungs with which to step your feet in, or with which to put your feet into. Option spreads allow you to take a bullish stance without directly buying a call option. And they involve combining 2 or more options contract with different strike prices and or expiration dates to give you a more defined risk and profit profile. So let's talk about bull call spread specifically with a bull flag. So this is how it works. You're going to buy a call option with a specific strike price, for example, $25, that'll give you the right, but not the obligation, to buy the stock at that price by the expiration date. Now what you're going to want to do is set a higher strike call option. So you're going to sell another call option with a higher strike price, for example, 27 with your initial 25, and the same or earlier expiration date. Expiration date, really important. I was doing some reading on options in general, and they said you have to be very cautious with your expiration date. So again, not an options trader, and thank you guys to the options traders in the chat who have been super helpful with the tips, and for everybody, much appreciated. But so you're going to want to make sure that that higher strike price has the same or earlier expiration date as your initial call option. And the second call you get is called the selling call against your initial call purchase. Also, shout out to Mr. Love Shack saying another name for this trade is a long vertical call spread.
Okay,
which
love
I
it.
didn't know. That's very cool. I guess it makes sense with the ladder analogy, right? Vertical.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about the bullish advantage to this. You do have more limited risk. So unlike buying a single call option where your losses are potentially unlimited up to the entire premium paid, your risk in a bull call spread is capped to the difference between the strike prices you bought and sold minus the premium paid for the spread. You also can help increase your profit potential. So if the stock price rises above the higher strike price sold call by the expiration date, you could potentially profit from the difference between the lower strike price bought call and the purchase price. So here's one example that I'm going to try to pull up here. Give me a moment to get this set up.
You want me to take over?
No, I figured it out.
Okay.
I just wanted to get it all set up there. Thank you. So let's talk about, imagine that you have a stock trading at $23 and it forms a bull flag. So if you believe the price will continue to rise, you're going to execute the bull call spread by buying a call option with a strike price of 25 for a premium of $2, and then selling a call option with a strike price of $27 for a premium of $1. So your maximum risk will be limited to the price of your call option, your selling call, minus your buying call, minus the premium, which is going to be the difference, and that's going to, or the difference between the premiums, and that's going to give you $1. So we're going to go over more now in this, and thank you for Sharif for that description there. But now what we're going to do is go over the max gain and loss and a little bit more specifics. So how do you calculate these? For your maximum gain, you're going to subtract your lower strike price from your higher strike price, then subtract your premium, and multiply that number by the amount of shares in the contract to figure out your maximum gain. Then for your maximum loss, what you're going to do is take the cost of the purchase call option and subtract the premium received from the sold call option, then multiply that number, which is going to be your net premium, by the amount of shares in the contract to figure out your maximum loss. Now, as I wrote that, I realized there's probably a lot of mathing, and I apologize. So here's the summary here. You're going to use the difference between strike prices as the basis for your maximum gain calculation and the difference between option costs or premiums for your max loss. But let's get into beyond the basics quickly here. You really want to make sure to understand options because spreads require a good understanding of option mechanics and Greeks. So that's going to be like alpha, beta, etc., which can help you measure option price sensitivity. Now let's also talk about the expiration date. As we said, these can be pretty key, so you want to make sure you choose one that aligns with your strategy for trading the bull flag pattern. Now also we're going to talk about volatility because option premiums are often sensitive to volatility. Consider the impact of volatility on your P&L. And you might also want to explore different spread variations like bull put spreads for a more complex but potentially income generating strategy within a bull flag. Check out as well Danielle Shea. She was in the market recap show with Sean and I last night. Great conversation. She's awesome. And definitely check that out. Also, I want to quickly, before I throw to Sharif, thank you to the super chat from Tom Bassa. $1.99 super chat. You sound like Jennifer Lawrence. Your vibe.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Thank you so much. I mean, I enjoy her vibes, so I really appreciate you saying
She's
that.
good vibes.
And thank you for the support for the show. I'm almost just happy to be here with everybody.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, I got stopped out of my Amazon short, but I am inclined to get right back into it. I also wet my beak on some Tesla profits there off that 17161 short. But Amazon is putting a bit of a top here, and I'm seeing a lot of topping tail candles come in. I just think my entry is bogus on this, that I keep getting a bad entry. But we have 3 topping tail candles in a row now on the 5, and we're putting incrementally lower highs on each one of those candles. So I do want to weasel my way into this trade, but I really want a better price because I keep getting stopped out using my risk management parameters, and that I just can't change willy-nilly on a dime like this. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to bamboozle myself into this trade. Yeah, this is a bit of a tougher look here. I mean, I keep trying to force this one short. It may not be short. So yeah, I'll keep eyes on this one. I have my stop already set on Tesla, so we'll leave that. Apple, we've been nursing Apple all morning with that one. Yeah, we've been defending that 170 level all morning. It hasn't stopped me out. I've had my stop in for the entirety of my time in Apple. Sometimes we pop, like as you saw here, we popped into that 25 penny area, but it's really been a dead trade today on Apple, no question about that. So I'll keep my my eye on it, right? And if we pop up here, then we'll look to deal with something. But NVIDIA right now just printed day's high, and the future is about 5 points off day's high as well. And I keep trying to short this market, so that may not be a good look for me anyway. 877.65 right now, high of day on NVIDIA. It's been hugging the 10-period moving average. All the closing prints have either been above the 20 or above the 10. That has been the case the entire day on this monster. 6% to the good on NVIDIA on the day, 6.15 to be exact, actually. So NVIDIA looking real good here. I will look at it. So I did get stopped at a Tesla? Not yet. Okay, so it has to cross 88. So we'll keep an eye on that. Yes, let's go back to the Tesla screen here, because I did put my candle out on Tesla if it was to break above the previous candle high, and I did get out of Tesla there, but it's not showing it on the screen for whatever reason. It says that I'm still in it.
Tesla clings to the screen, I've noticed. Tesla, if you're in a trade for some reason, sometimes Tesla will stay on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but okay. Reloaded on Tesla? Yes, Katina Man. The Katina Man's back on the reload, defending that 172 level. It has been a top on the day on Tesla. The HOD on Tesla is 172.12. So this is a good look for the Katina Man here. Defend that 172, and we shall keep eyes on what just happened with my here. Oh, the Amazon. I see. The Amazon got me in trouble. The Amazonian got me in trouble, Katina Man. Yes, nice trade there on Tesla as we move right back down into that $0.50. Last time we were having trouble breaking the $0.50 too. So nice look there on the break. I'll keep eyes on that. How many topping tail candles need to come in on Amazon here for me to get short? Is anybody else looking at this? Like, chat, what are you guys seeing here on Amazon? Is anybody looking short on Amazon? Or am I the only crazy person right now that wants to look short?
Going down, and
yeah,
those candles.
And those topping tail candles, but you know, keeps getting me in trouble every time I get into it. Say again? Meta's on the way down again. How many 50-period rejections is that now, Katina Man? 20? Because Meta has been absolutely rejecting that 50-period moving average the entire morning, and looks like there is no difference as of right now. It's continuing to reject it. We'll keep eyes on that. Yeah, I'm disappointed that I got shaken out of that rest of my Tesla trade there, as it did move up into 88s. Yeah, so that's the look there. All right, wow. Oh, I didn't even notice this. We got close to 17.9. So 17,894. So we're at that 900 point level now. We're about 6 points off 900. Decisions to be made here, and looks to be had, I guess. We'll see what we get when we move up to 900. Maybe we see 18,000 by next week. Well, looks like we gave up 18,000 so aggressively on that market sell-off from last week. I didn't think we would see it for a while, but alas, yeah, we will. So we'll keep eyes on that, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much in this market to keep eyes on, I have to say. I got out of a firm.
Bang.
I'm smiley. So I got out part of this position exactly as planned. While I was doing the lesson of the day, I was yapping. We broke above 33.40. Then I noticed we kind of paused a little bit around that doji, around 33.50. I said, Adara, take your profits and run for the hills, which I did. 17 penny winner for the rest of that position there. And I almost said IBIT because I am an IBIT, but that was on a firm. I was honestly pretty happy with this, and I wanted to talk about that. So thank you again. I'm so sorry. I forget who it was. Someone in the chat earlier mentioned a firm to me, so shout out to you. I would not have looked at that chart today if you had not pointed it out to me, and I love that flat top breakout. So there we go. Let's also, I'm in IBIT, so I'm going to mention IBIT quickly here as well. Happy with my point of entry. Please just punch. We're going to give this 5 pennies, trying to get minimum 8 pennies. I like that base here earlier. This looks kind of rangy to me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out 2/3 of position, then keep filling as we head to the downside. Keep unloading some of the shares. That's the goal with IBIT. Hopefully it comes to fruition, at least a bit on IBIT. But I don't love that we're having this dance with the 9 EMA, especially because look where we had that resistance earlier. That's right, this 36.26 level. I don't know how I feel about this. But I think we've broken below it earlier. I think we can break below it again. I am just incredibly cognizant of that level, as I often am. Also, AMD, Paula Blackford asking about AMD short now. So the thing is, yeah, initially, sorry, when you did message this, and I put this in the chat, we were below that 158. I said my biggest thing is I want to see AMD decisively get A, below the 90 MA, and B, make a lower low. We still haven't made a lower low, and I think AMD is really getting to an AM decision point here.
Oh.
You can only consolidate for so long. Although, maybe, actually, I shouldn't say that, because Apple sometimes can consolidate all darn day.
Apple's
so
breaking down.
Oh, now it's not the dead one, it's the dying one. Yeah. Oof, bad look for Apple. But yeah, I think, and now AMD's trying to pop back up. So I would just say, yeah, definitely caution with AMD, not advice, just takes on the chart. I think that lower low is definitely needed, as I kind of mentioned here in the chat as well. Also, shout out to Chef Joe for your $50 NVIDIA winner. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to everybody. Always pleased as punch to be here. I'm not shouting out iBit, though, because iBit doesn't know what it's doing. So iBit, you do not get any love from me today. That is for darn sure. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. We're having a good time over here. We're just trying to make some trades and live our best life. Also, Lachlan wants to look at sound, so let's look at sound. Yeah, I mean, honestly, don't have much to say about this chart except nice upside, higher highs, higher lows. Last 4 candles we've been breaking out. Had a nice little bounce off that 90 MA.
Bro.
Upside, upside, upside. Sean, nice look there. What's happening?
I just told the Katina man I hate him because he took the trade that I was talking about, but he actually executed it properly. The 172 rejection on Tesla that we kept talking about, he just took a buck in the money. Put the Katina man screen. Skern.
Ramin, my screen.
Bruh. I mean, and you were the responsible one for these topping tail candles, weren't you? These over here, that's where you kept getting short. So shout out to the Katia man. He executed the trade properly, baby. That's how it's done. I'm going to aim for better, no doubt about that. So yeah, I had the right idea, bad execution. Should have definitely put my stop above 172. I just didn't want to give that much risk. But man, oh man, that is a good trade there. And one that was, definable on the chart. So you should be getting those. Now, I'm going to be looking here at Amazon at 180. So we were talking about how strong my conviction was on the 180 short, and that ended up, you know how that went because we popped up 82 pennies above that. So we'll see exactly whether we're able to hold up here at the 20 period, which is 179.80, just at that 180 level. Look, I'm going to be looking long here for that defend of the level. We'll see exactly what we get, but it looks like that 180.82 short was right. These topping tail candles were right. You have to stick to your convictions. As the Katina man says, if I like my setups, I'm going to add into them. I've been trying not to DCA into positions because that's where I've gotten into a lot of trouble, but I shouldn't be so arrogant to think that I'm always going to be able to pick tops and that, it may go against me for a bit, but my idea will be right. And I had the right idea on Amazon and Tesla, but got shaken out of both. I'm going to do better next time, so we'll keep eyes on that. 180 is incoming here for the Amazonian. What does it do? Does it bounce? Or do we tank below that 180? The 20 period, like I mentioned, which has been the kind of the defense point for the deeper retracements, about 10 pennies below the $10 level there at 180 at 179.90 or thereabouts. So keep your eye on that if you're long inclined on Amazon. And quite frankly, it's up 3 3/4. So this could be an interesting area of defense here. So we'll keep eyes on that as well. Dan wrote something here. I want to go back and read it. Shout out to Dan the Man Emmons. I was talking about the future, which I think is what he was responding to here. He says 18,040 is still on my radar for today. If we get there, that's 10x my initial risk on the morning long at 17,677. My man, you've got the patience. You've got patience galore because you sit there and hold those positions all day. Shout out to you, Dan. That's a good trade there for you. Hope you print on that one. All right, now we are below 180 on the Amazonian. Do we hold this area or what happens here, Adara? Let's keep eyes on this one.
Yeah, Amazon, like that's been a nice look there. I know a lot of people in the chat talking about Amazon, so shout out to you if you got involved in that. Also, this Google, I was talking earlier, I think maybe for Zach Frack, I think that was who mentioned it about this Google, and I said, I am obsessed with this 172.30 level. Google, apparently agrees that it's also obsessed with the 172.30 level because Google has not left that thing alone. This is not one just that because I'm still going live that I feel comfortable trading like $172 stock quite just yet. If anyone knows any like Google ETFs, I'd love to have my goggles on goggles because I do like this range and I think there's something brewing. There's something in the water here. I want to play it. I want to get involved. This looks pretty tasty there. This tasty on Google. So I really would like to get involved in this
this here trade.
Pardon?
This here trade.
This here trade, yeah, this here trade. There we go. Also, IBIT. I'm still happy with this, but I am extremely cognizant of that bounce we had off that 9 EMA at that 36.25. Now, also, look where we had that bounce earlier, 36.30. Now we're seeing rejection off 36.30. I think if this breaks up, this could get really dicey for me. I am giving this to 36.35. We touched it and then rejected. So as of right now, I feel confident, but that can change at any moment. That's trading, baby. You got to roll with the punches. You got to see what the market gives you. And I will say as well, I do want to shout out, I want to shout out everybody here always, but I want to shout out Sean as well, because as you were just saying earlier, Sharif, sticking with your convictions. Like, honestly, you talking about that has, I think, definitely made me a trader that's more confident taking risks. And I think even when and I was saying this to Sharif earlier this week as well and on the show, even if the trades don't work out, because if I'm going to stop myself by saying, oh, I could lose it, you can also make it.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
And I think that's what I've been trying to use as the impetus. I'm not up on the day, but I'm really proud of the trading I did today for the most part. There are some exceptions because I took setups I liked and I stuck with them. And if I liked something, I was willing to get involved. And so I think to some extent, that's something that's worth it as well and that you can learn from. So thank you, Max Tycho, for enjoying the puns. I have fun making them, so I have fun making them, so good times there. Dump the market, or dump it market, says DJ Marshall. Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. This Tesla kind of interesting. I don't have much of a read on anything, though, beyond this IBIT. I thought is there anything else people are, Rivian, someone was mentioning Rivian, so let's look at Rivian here. Yeah, this is a nice look on Rivian. We kind of had a little bit of a roundy top. This is a very bamboozling, actually, frowny face. Then we get to this area we talked about earlier, 883, and we go all the way to the upside. That R1 is continuing to zoom here. If we bounce off this 892, this could maybe be interesting. I might keep my eyes on Rivian. And I do enjoy the look of their vehicles. How are you doing?
Absolutely. Trying this 180 level on the Amazonian, but I've been watching this Microsoft range get tighter and tighter and tighter, and I did not expect this from Microsoft on a second, like a first day earnings play. I mean, did anybody kind of expect this sideways movement here? I thought we would at least get some sort of volatility on the name, but it has been very, very tight in its range, save and except for these two rejections into the 50 period. Very interesting look here on Amazon, but I don't think my on Microsoft. I'm going to look to defend the 20 period here on Amazon, and I'm going to give it very, very tight. At that range 179, I'm going to give it to 82s, and then we'll look to cover at this level, 82, and then we'll basically take out the entire position a little bit below that. So we'll go ahead and sit there. So I put my stop in on that. So if that holds, great. If it doesn't, too bad. Yes, Tesla on the way down again. Now Tesla breaking below 171. So this was a 172 short by the Katina man. And there he is, right in the bear all the way down. Tesla now at the 50 period. Beautiful short off that 172 rejection with the plethora of topping tail candles coming in there. We'll keep an eye out on the Cybertruck. NVIDIA, though, unabated to the quarterback is NVIDIA 883 in a third now, breaking through that 80 level. And it's single-handedly pushing the future here into that 17.9 territory. 17.898 right now. We're 2 points off HOD. And, well, that's the high. We're 10 points off it right now as we trade. So we'll keep eyes on that as well. Meta back at the 50 period, though. It is wicking a little bit into that 440 area, maybe a little bit 441-ish here, but it really isn't breaking through any of these previous tops. What it is doing, though, is breaking through the 50 period, but not on a closing basis. As we've seen, that has not been the case the entire morning there. So META continuing to reject off the 50 period. but doing its darndest to get back into that area. Wow, NVIDIA, bro. Okay, let's check some small caps because we haven't looked at those in a bit. SBFM continuing to do well, and any dips off the volume weighted average price have printed. Same goes with CGEM. This one has been also quite beautiful. 2 dips off volume weighted average price, and they both paid well over $1. HWH is hugging the volume weighted average price. Really no trade for me. Same look for WIMI, WIMI, hugging VWAP with no range. But AGEN, 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 really here having a good day today. 8:30 close yesterday, 11:47 high. We're trading at 11:17 right now. It was really kind of bouncing off the 10 period moving average. I don't really know why, but the point is, SMA, let me just highlight the EMA there. Which one is the EMA? Is it this one? No, that's the SMA. Okay, where's that EMA? All right, there it is. Show. I don't know why it's not showing. Anyway, that's fine. We'll keep eyes on AGEN. It is coming down a little bit now, so that could be the end of the trade there. Watching Amazon to hold the 20 period. If it doesn't, I'm gonzino.
Yeah, it would be gonzino indeed there. Also, yeah, so I got out of IBIT. Thank you, Jimo, for mentioning this news, BTC news with BlackRock and Fidelity. I was trying to find this where I couldn't find. The closest I could find was zero cross shareholdings in Japan, which I don't think is what that is. But yeah, we lost exactly what I wanted here. We risked 5 pennies. We lost 5 pennies.
Okay.
And that's okay. You know what? I might even get in on the long here if we bounce off this area. I might have missed this opportunity, but I think it's a nice look trying to curl. What I do like, though, is the TSLL short. I'm probably not going to get it, but I like that we're bouncing off that 9 EMA. We're having that rejection. I want to get involved. What's maybe more promising right now, to me, is maybe the Qs. And I say maybe the Qs because I don't want to make any assumptions we're near high of days. However, this candle lick, to me, is extremely spicy. NVIDIA did it as well. You had that candle, then we wicked to the upside, then kind of fell a little bit to the downside. So I really want to see what we do. We're still riding the 9 EMA, which is the thing that's kind of making me hesitant to go short here. But if I see one more candle I like, I want to get involved. And I want to clarify, too, I'm not getting involved because I am concerned. I'm not getting involved because I don't believe in it yet. And I think there's a difference. You know what I mean? I remember when I first heard you know, Sean will say a scared trader is a deficient trader. And I remember at one point, I just took that as like, take every trade you mildly believe in, which is not the right way to take it. I think the way that I would now take it, the way I now understand that is, a scared trader is an efficient trader, and if you're scared, not because you don't believe in the trade, but because you're worried about risk, that's where it becomes a problem. If you like the trade, take the trade with a risk level that makes sense to you. And I mean, I don't want to, that's just my interpretation and how I've taken that lesson. And so with that in mind, I do not have enough confidence to take the TQs right now, especially with that gorgeous wick off that 9 EMA. But that, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. Nice look on Google, trying to break above that level 172.40. Bang, that's a great look. Also, shout out to Harris Roch. Thank you for telling me about the GGLL, which is the Google, this is the Google ETF. Volume on this, 400,000 shares, so not one I will be trading, but it's good to know it exists. So thank you very much, Harris, for telling me about this. What else is being happening here? I want to see what else is happening. Google pushing for 172.50. I agree, Zach Frack. I think we're trying to break above that very well-defined top. There was something else that I was going to, oh yeah, SoFi. Someone's saying SoFi bull flag. This is bull flag lesson, so let's take a look at this. This is a cool look. So we had that move up here. We double bottom off that VWAP area, which is also a bit of resistance, 773. Then we push to the upside. Now we're topping and turning. This could actually become a bull flag. This is a nice little tight look. Let's see what happens next. Thank you, Adrian N, for pointing this one out. This is the SoFi bull flag. This is the look. I should have gone long IBIT, but that doesn't. You know, maybe I'm not too late. Maybe I'm a bit late for the IBIT party. But better a bit late than IBIT never.
I like that. Better late than never, but
with IBIT a bit.
Never late.
But never late is better.
There you go.
Tell me time is money.
There you go.
Spend it for, yeah.
There you go. Wow.
Fancy.
Eidetic memory, bro.
I love that's one of my favorite songs.
Memory, bro.
I named my 13th birthday party after that song.
No.
I'm obsessed with Fancy. That is
Really?
the one song I can confidently rap.
Don't you like how like the instrumental on that is completely different from the beginning to how it ends?
And Swiss Beats, and well, you know I'm a T.I. fan. I went to a T.I. concert. I love the T.I. verse on that.
I like it.
It's a great song.
Okay.
Sorry for waxing poetic there.
All good. The dead one, not Apple, softy today. Today, the soft one has been very, very rangy. It just, for whatever reason, decided, all right, I'm done with this range. It's been nice, and popped right back into the 50. Okay, I'm not saying this is an excellent short area, but what I am saying is that both pops into the 50 prior to this, both rejected. Okay, so do what you may. It's at 410. It's a $10 level, and you know that gets people. They like these levels. Key areas of psychological resistance. The 50 is back in play on Microsoft. Keep your eye on that. I was able to get some profits out on my Amazon long. That is before it just came right back down into the 20. My stop remains the same on this. It has to hold that 82 level. Otherwise, I want no part of it. So it's that 20 period moving average that I'm looking to defend on AMZN. It's had a hell of a day. It's 3.6 to the good as we speak right now. Long 96s after that beak wetter there at 10s. I'm talking about 180.10. So we'll see exactly how this one ends up panning out. But it does seem to be finding its foot, at least for the moment, at the 20 period moving average. I'm gonna have to load up Softy here because this is too good of a trade not to have eyes on. I'm not saying this is going to be the end all and be all, but let's get rid of Meta here and put MSFT. Yeah, I'm looking at 410. I want to see it turn around. Like I'm not going to just sorry. All right, this is what I'm looking at, Ram. So it's going to have to turn around off these levels here. Otherwise, I'm not just going to put a resting order and then get in trouble. So watching Softy, 410. It's at the 50 period. It's rejected off the 50 period once, twice. Can this be OB thrice? So we'll look for that. I'm still watching the Amazonian here, speaking of OB thrice, because we are holding that 20 period quite well. What I'd love, just love, if we curled back into 181. That would just be aces, wouldn't it be? So keeping an eye on that. Apple, now, this is, you know, I should have been more alive to this. I didn't think that Apple was going to hold 170 today, and that's because we closed below 170 on Apple yesterday, and I think that that was by design, like I kind of said at the top of the show. I don't think this is ready to reclaim that 170 area. May 7th, though, guys, mark that down in your calendars. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout day for Apple, but it is the iPad launch event, and it's been quite some time since really anything's been done with the iPad. So maybe, just maybe, we hear some catalysts with respect to AI. Maybe they're iPad-specific AI catalysts. I don't know. But May 7th, mark that down. And then in June, we have that Worldwide Developer Conference, WWDC. Widely expected that that will be the event that Apple debuts all its AI, not all, I guess the initial AI features. But before that, we also have Apple earnings. And let me tell you exactly when those are actually. But let me go to my calendar over here. Apple reports May 2nd. So you have a May 2nd date for earnings, and then you have a May 7th date for the iPad event. Just mark those down if you're interested in Apple Adara.
Oh my gosh, Ramin.
What did Ram say?
Sharif or Adara, what are your thoughts on MacroHard, the software company? Microsoft, MacroHard? I mean, yeah, I think, you know, their CEO, Will Doors, not Bill Gates, but Will Doors, founder Will Doors. We're gonna have to see what he has to give us there. But yeah, nice look there on MacroHard.
And she's so proud of herself, dude. Do you hear her giggling in the background?
I always say this, Ramin's laugh is so infectious. Like it's such a good vibe.
Yeah, it's good vibes.
It puts you in a good mood.
Yeah.
She's always like so excited.
I love it. I love it. Ram stays undefeated. Guys, we're rejecting off that 10 period again on Softy, so the topping tail candles are coming in here. Yeah, be careful. This is the level we were talking about. So let's go ahead and load up Softy here. I mean, we're cruising for a bruising, I think. So why don't we take this short here on the soft one? The market, is it headed down? We got to 17,901 and we didn't do much. So let's see if we get that move down here on Softy. We're going to take that short. 410.25 is going to be my out. Watch it trigger like right now on Softy. We're going to go ahead and put 410. Let's just put that. There we go. And then we'll look to cover like that. So where is my out going to be on Softy? I'm going to put a beak wetter at 409.60 or thereabouts. We'll see if we get something around there. This is, again, this trade is based upon rejections of the 50-period EMA on Microsoft. It has been kind of a repeatable trade on the day. Whether or not it repeats again, an entirely different story. We'll continue to watch that and see if we can print on it. Let's see what else is moving here. Yeah, the future coming in a little bit here, not gonna lie, off that 17,901. We'll see what we get here. Dara, I'll just send it to you to put my stops.
Yeah, Petit Songvi saying, please check NVIDIA, it's looking like a top. I'm long NVDL, and I even kind of agree with you here. I took a small position. I'm risking about like 15 pennies. I want to see what we did around that 70s area. We bounced nicely for now, but I will explain the reasons that I think it could potentially be a top. That candlestick is going to be the main one. We get into 882. We have that big little wick up there, and then we kind of have fallen down since. A little bit of downside movement here on this NVDL. Let's see how this position is going. Do I need to get out? Yeah, we're going to get out here of this trade. And maybe we'll go like short the Qs or something here. But yeah, basically what I wanted to see was see what we did at 70s. This was kind of more because initially I thought short, but I thought, hey, Adair, we could have some more upside movement. That's why I got long there. Didn't lose too much, happy to keep trading. But NVDA, I see what you mean. This looks like it could be what Randy sometimes calls a Christmas tree retracement. The one thing though that's interesting is every time it looks like we're gonna break below the 9 EMA, we don't. And see what I mean? Now we had another little bounce off here. I think this could be the end of NVDA. I don't disagree with you, but I think it could be an interesting way to see if we continue to curl up here. The 3 bearish candles in a row on the 5-minute are not incredibly promising. Since we made that high around, what was this, just shy of 884, currently we're at 877, so definitely selling off with a bit of viciousness. Wow, happy I got out there. I see someone is pretty excited.
I'm an excitable person, you know that.
You seem excited.
Yeah, I did a good trade. That's why. Finally, I didn't paper hand this stupid trade again. Like this again, it was the 410, not the 410 that was a level. It was the 50 period on Microsoft. So another rejection, the third rejection on the 50 period. Right now, we took like I think 80 pennies at the best part there. We got 410 short. And then covered right there when it dipped in 70 pennies into the 30s. So I'm happy about that. A couple of beak wetters there on the soft one today. 3 times. Third time was a charm. Did I take a short off this before? Yeah, I did. So I've shorted Softy earlier today. So I was happy about that. There it is, the 410 short. And we cover right there on Microsoft. Let's look at what the next trade is now. So Amazon. Hi, Amazon. We were talking about 180 short all day, and now you print like 10 red candles in a row? Frustrating, but whatever. So the 10 period didn't hold up as a level of support on the 5-minute. The 20 period didn't hold up either as a level of support, nor did this price action top at 180 hold up. So nothing held up. We have below that now the 50 period at 179 1/3. Does it hold up there? We'll see. Below that is the volume weighted average price at 178 1/2. It may not be at 1/2 by the time it gets down there. You just need to keep your eye on it. And the reason I'm talking about Amazon is because I was so short bias on this and I ended up not taking it at the level. Why? Because it didn't come in the way that I wanted to. It almost made its way up into 181. But all right, so something's going on with Meta here. Meta is absolutely rocketing to the upside there from that 438.5 low. Here comes 443.5. I don't know what's going on with Meta right now.
Not seeing anything.
Yeah, it's rocketing up here. And by rocketing, I mean like $4 off, well, more, about $5 off this bottom end low over here. We were talking about the umpteen amount of rejections off the 50 period. That looks like it's come to an end as it breaks it decisively here. And this pop looks distinctly different than all the other pops. Keep in mind that 446.5 is the IB high. Shout out to Dan the Man Emmons there. So look out for that. The 20 period on the 5 we have already cleared. Let's have a look at the 15. Because my charting at night has showed me that the 15 features a lot in support and resistance levels on the moving averages. Nothing that I really like on the 15. We'll have to break far above the high in order to get anything relevant there. So let's flip back to the 5. Okay, so yeah, I mean, a good look, but the market seems to be, I don't know, it seems to be bouncing here. I mean, I have to say, 170 held too on Tesla for whoever was interested in that. That would send a rinse and repeat level. Let's load up Tesla at these levels, man. 170 could be really interesting here on the stressful one. You like that, eh? And I figured that that was an interesting range because Adara 170.5 is the closing print. Sorry, not 170.5. 170.14 is the closing print from yesterday. So essentially 170. And right below 172 was the volume weighted average price at 169.87. So there was a lot pointing to, you know, to the holdup here, holdup at these levels. And we got basically a hammer candle, a bottoming tail candle at these levels. So let's see if we can get something here on the stressful one. Let's see if we can sit here at 48s. We'll see if we can get printed in and around there. Yeah, so I'll send it to you, just put my stops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too proud of this TQQ trade, I have to say. I think I was maybe kind of tracing, you know, we haven't actually sung it yet today, but I think I was maybe chasing waterfalls here. Which I should have just stuck to the patterns and the levels I'm used to, because you're either going nowhere, I forgot those parts of the lyrics. But yeah, I think the TQQs were moving too fast for me. In this case, I wanted to get involved in the action. I said, hey, you know what? I initially went long in video. That was definitely the wrong move. And I was like, you know what? Maybe these TQs are, we're getting out. And it just wasn't, it wasn't meant to be. And I'm not proud of how I executed that at all, but I'm happy I got out where I did. We lost about 13 pennies. Not a good trading day for me. I'm gonna be really, really honest. I should have been, I guess, just more on the levels than I actually have been. And with that in mind, I just wrote HNVDL, so that is not what I want. NVDL, this area is now, NVDL looks like it's actually maybe curling back up. So I might get involved, but now I'm worried about rushing in right now. It's like once bitten, twice shy. Then you get a little bit scared. You're like, oh, I want to be more cautious. I want to wait and see what happens. But yeah, this has not been my trade. But Mulfar mentioning a trade I was looking at earlier and didn't take because I am still trying to be cautious of my buying power in the live. Kudos to those who are milking AMD range. Shout out. This is a gorgeous range. And it's not like, mind you, there's some higher highs and higher lows, but generally you get about 157.75 all the way up to 158.40. If you take that with enough shares, that's a nice look. Once I get more consistent and profitable in the live, which right now, this week was not my best week, then I want to be trying to trade stuff like this. That's going to be the goal once I work up and have enough buying power where I feel comfortable executing these types of moves. How are you doing?
I'm about to get stopped out on Tesla as it doesn't want to hold 170. So that dip trade at these levels doesn't look like it's going to work here unless it bounces up. Well, it's right at the VWAP right now at the volume weighted average price. It finds its support here, then we'll stay long. Otherwise, we're going to get stopped out of that level. Cost basis now 23. As we did look to defend that 170 level, we'll see exactly what we get here. The Fuge did touch 17,901.5, but it put a huge candle down, but that candle got bought up aggressively. And that's what's funny. I'm talking about this candle over here. We dipped down aggressively into 17,862, and now we're right back into the high 80s. So you'll see the likes of Meta absolutely pumping up. We have Amazon right back above 180 again with a top bottoming tail candle. Looks like a hammer candle over here that's formed on Amazon with another 5-minute candle to make a new high subsequent to it. That's a good look. Apple continues to head down though at the low of day at the moment, 169.37 here on AAPL. Gonna look for this defend here at the volume weighted average price on Tesla. That's the trade I'm involved in at the moment as we look to the last about 12 minutes here left on the show, but I just really don't know what is going on with Meta. Meta, nice pop up there, but really not seeing anything, at least that's come in quite so recently here for Meta to kind of explain what's going on. But we don't really need an explanation for Meta. I mean, it's been sold off so aggressively, so there could be individuals looking to get into that. And yeah, it does look like I'm going to get stopped out here on TSLA. Yeah, there are 88s. And so then I'm stopped out of that. We'll have to see if that's bottom wick. So far it is, because it did actually touch VWAP at those levels. So Tesla at the volume weighted average price here. Let's see if it's able to bounce back up, and right back up it goes. It does defend that level for now. Does it make a newer low though? It's been kind of curling up with that 172 top. 172.12 technically is the top on TSLA right now there.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to look at. And I think also too, with regards to Meta, sometimes the market reacts to things not immediately, right? Like there'll be like delayed reactions. And with that, why I say that especially because that Tesla news that had a little bit of a dump with regards to the NHSTA or the NHTSA stuff with like, the injuries happening with what's it called, autopilot and full self-drive. That report came out from the NHSTSA this morning. It was on the watch list this morning. But The Verge reported it at 10:15, summarizing the report, and that went on Twitter, and that's when the market reacted, right? So like what I'm trying to say is sometimes there are delayed reactions, or something will get republished, and then people will react to it. I know as well, sometimes with comments made by Fed Powell, because I'll listen to it and then I'll see the reactions, sometimes people will be getting excited about a comment that came out a couple minutes ago. You know what I mean? So I just want to put that out there. Of course, I am still very new to this world, but that's one thing that I've noticed that I wanted to kind of touch on, especially with regards to that NHTSA stuff, because I read that report and I was like, that's the same report that was this morning. It's just The Verge, you know, delivering it to you in a different package. So maybe that's what's happening at Meta. Let's see what happens. Also, Magic Mike saying Nvidia has a target price today. Do you see something significant on the tape that could push the NQ higher? I mean, honestly, it's really hard to say. I'm going to be really real with you. It's kind of harder to be like, you know, this is a top or this isn't a top. Right now, though, I do think that these bearish kind of candles, these wicks to the downside we keep having, bullish, not a bad look at all, right? We kind of have a little bit of a move down, and then the buyers are like, no, we're going to have a Friday. We are going to keep going. That's what these candles are telling me. Right? But I'm just one person. You know what I mean? It's a little bit harder to tell. And I don't want to call levels because we're not advice. We're just looking at the charts. I'm not seeing much, honestly, beyond just the fact that we do have very persistent, exuberant buyers for whatever reason every time we try to dip into that 431.50 level. That's kind of the main thing I'm seeing. I will be really honest with you right now. Also, Darwin, thank you for telling me this. I just say NHTSA for NHSTA. It's easier instead of the U.S.
I like that.
Thank you, Darwin, because this morning, I swear, I'm trying to tell that story. I kept being like, NHTSA. So thank you for that. Much appreciated there, learning the little slangs. The little slang things there. But yeah, I'm going to have to say, I think it'll be interesting, the fact that we're consolidating at this top. I think every time it looks like we get weaker, buyers come back in. So I'll tell you that, Magic Mike. I don't know if that helps, but that's my take.
All right, let's have a look at Amazon. So I got stopped out of the Tesla trade. That ends up being an L. Too bad. So now let's look at Amazon here because it's shown its strength on the day, 3 3/4. Now it's starting to curl back up. It did actually defend that 50. Didn't quite make its way down into the 50. Made its way down into the $0.50, 179.52. Now we have 3 green candles in a row here on the 5. So we're starting to curl back up, it looks like. And we're also putting in topping tail candles on Meta here at 444s. 444 seems to be a bit of a level. Here comes 443.5. Do we reject this level? It looks like there is some selling here. Not really that an area that I had my eye on. Let's go back a little bit and see if this area is an important area. Not really. I mean, there is some intersection at this area yesterday, but it's not anything that I really would have been, super interested in. Let's see where the future's at. I mean, can Meta curl? Yeah, well, we're rejecting 17.9 right now. So I am inclined actually to possibly short this move here on META. I mean, am I late to the party though? Or has the move been had into 444s? So yeah, a bit of a riskier trade. Oh, where's my Meta screen, by the way? Okay, there. No, so I took it off.
Slid out of your DMs.
No, I think I switched it. Yeah, wow, $2 off the top there, so it looks like the short's in on this one, unless it can really revert right back down. So we'll give this one the old college try here and see if we can get anything on this bad boy. But Meta, big move up there midday. Nothing to really account for this whole move. 444s is where it printed there. Also, the future did touch 17,901. And it did reject a little bit, came right back down. But NVIDIA is holding the 50 period, and I'm also keeping an eye on Tesla here. It also seems to be holding the 50 period as well, Adara. So there is possibly some bullishness coming into this market here. I don't really want to call I mean, we're at 17.9 and we're really not clearing it with any vigor. So I'm a little suspicious of these levels.
Yeah, this has been, like I said, this has not been my best trading day, but honestly, I'm happy I had a little bit more of a bamboozling trading week this week because it just inspires me to go harder next week. Last week, I think I was taking less risks as well. This week, I had setups I like. I took them. Yesterday, that worked out really well because there were just a lot of things I liked that were in nice ranges. Today, not so much, or I wasn't scalping quickly enough. And so I'm going to take that, going to ruminate on it because I love overthinking. It's one of my favorite pastimes. And we're going to come back tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Monday.
Friday. I mean Monday, yeah.
And work even harder. Thank you, Day Trader Cut, for Paramount volume spike. Let's see, Paramount keeps saying things every 2 seconds. Oh, considers remove. Okay, this is another example of news that actually initially came out earlier. Paramount considers removing CEO Bob Bakish as turmoil over sale talks deepens, from the Wall Street Journal. So this was actually mentioned in the CNBC report on this yesterday as well. So it was interesting. And again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, boo media, because I mean, obviously we do new stuff. We're in the media.
Exactly.
I just think I find it really interesting how sometimes the market will react to things that are kind of quote unquote old news. Yep. Because I know apparently what I was reading with regards to that potential Skydance deal is if they take the Skydance deal, it is maybe more likely that Bob Bakish is going to be off the table and they're going to get their own CEO in that they've agreed on with the group. That was what I saw.
Super.
But yeah, worth noting. So that I will look at Paramount. Sorry, I forgot to type on it. But let's see. I just wanted to see what the news was there, and I just want to say, yeah, that I did see that yesterday as well. Yeah, nice move up here in Paramount. I guess they were not Bob Bakish fans. I bet Bob's looking at this stock like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Is that the one that Carrie Redwood owns, like the majority of?
Yeah, like the national
She's been kind of tough in the negotiations there.
You would think, yeah, but because I know Apollo was interested as well, and they do not want Apollo. They said no to that, but someone is super happy.
Yes, took the short. Well, we got punched in the face with Tesla, so we tried to get right back into the short there. Took a nice 60 pennies there on Meta, 440. Where'd I take that short, Patty Ice? Shout out to you, my man. Thank you for always supporting me. 442.71, and we covered everything at 15. So 442.15, nice short there on Meta. Nice mean reversion trade off 444s. It was on the way down, and we caught it a little bit. Keep your eye, though, on Meta for 441 1/3. That is the closing print from yesterday, and we did actually defend that level a little bit there in not in the pre. I mean, earlier in the day we couldn't really break through it. So I would have said, you know, if I had more shares, 441 1/3 is what I would have been covering everything. Right now, 441 888, or sorry, triple eights. Calm down, bro. Double eights coming in right now on Amazon. We still haven't broken above 17.9 on the future. And we're very sideways on both Softy and Google. And yeah, that's really basically all I have to say. What is everybody else looking at? We got 3 minutes left on the show. Oh, writing?
Yeah, that is the plan.
Okay.
The goal is always to do some writing this weekend. Hopefully I have some time and I'm awake enough because also, as we know, a lot of my weekend is eaten up by excessively long naps. So we're going to try not to do that. We're going to be, the plan is to do some writing tomorrow, actually, if the weather's nice. Going to go walk, find somewhere, write something.
No, it's not. Is it 100% rain? Both Saturday and Sunday? You're kidding, but it's like 20 some odd degrees though, so maybe you.
Oh, but Sean is the bear of bad news because he's been in the Bears all day. He's the bad news bear. Actually, sorry, not all day because I know he was long this morning. Yes. But anyways, yeah, Sean not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but telling us it might be raining.
All right, sounds good. All right.
What are you doing this week?
What am I doing? I'm cleaning the you-know-what out of my car. So it's going to be like a full car cleaning. Randy and I were talking about this off camera, and Randy, man, he knows way too much, and like in a good way, obviously. So he gives you all these tips. Like I'm like, okay, Randy, I clean my car. It's pristine. I park it in the underground garage. 2 days later, it's filled with dust. What do? I mean, I can't keep cleaning my car every 2 days, right? He's like, and then he gave me this product. It's basically a waterless wash. You put it on like a microfiber towel, and you just clean it, and the dust comes right off. So. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna wax it. I'm gonna do all this stuff to my car, so it's gonna be a nice chill session. Hopefully, get some food as well. Meta beautifully down off that 444 touch, and here comes 441 1/3, guys. As we have 1 more minute left on the show. TGIF. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to be charting Sunday night too. So you saw my new setup and stuff with all the charts. So charting Sunday night. Be ready for Monday, guys. We'll have a whole new crop of lessons for you, Adair and I, for next week.
Yeah, we love doing this. We're so happy to be here. We're so happy you guys are all here. Pleased as punch, as I sometimes say. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for the support and for hanging out. And also, there is no market recap tonight, Penguin Dynasty, unfortunately. But there is the podcast tomorrow at 10. I'm getting some. We're getting some notes ready there. Gonna come with some hot fire for earnings next week. Stay tuned. And we are. Yeah, it's almost 2 p.m. in a couple minutes, and we'll have more lessons, as Sharif was saying. These markets have been crazy. It's been another week of lots of learning for myself personally, and hopefully for everyone here on how to trade. But for now, we'll see you tomorrow. Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. You got Brendan at the big desk.
See you guys.
Happy Friday afternoon. 2 hours ago, heading into the weekend here, we are dealing with quite the rebound once again. Market back to the upside in a big way. I want to start off with this, as we typically do here in the afternoon. The market's up, and there's the dollar having a